feel like you're being
Y'all looking for me? Yeah, y'all looking for me? Here I is. Hey! What it do, people? What it do? Here I is. Here I is. Well, here I is, here I go on another flow. And this is the relationship we have showed. I'm gonna talk about Trump and Biden. And I'ma try to bring a bunch of shit to the light that they've been hiding. Cause I don't know what's going on with the media. They tripping. They need to get like Expedia and bring their ass up to speed with the truth. Damn it, that's why we here. But before we do that, I think I want to sing. Do the people want to hear the song? People want to hear the song? Do the people want to hear the song? If people want to hear the song, let me play the song. We're going to sing the song. Let's do this. This is one of my favorites, y'all. So I think y'all already know what it is. Let me go ahead and stop that and start this. Let's see. Where the hell is my song? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Let me do my song. It's time for a little studio love. Yeah. Yeah, in the studio. Oh, Teddy Payne. Click the like button as y'all come on in. I am Brian Redmond. And this is the Relationship Rehab. And this is Studio Love. Girl, just close your eyes and picture me playing a Spanish guitar. Baby, where we going? There ain't no such thing as a bando. If I could, I would stroke your body like I do my keyboard. Are you ready? Ready to do something you never did before? Let's make love in the studio. Let's make love in the studio. Let's make love in the... I see you from the booth, and you remind me of a brand new saxophone. And I'm trying my best, but the music won't let me leave you alone. Girl, and my body's like a flute, I can't stop blowing on you. Are you ready? Ready to do something you never did before? Let's make love in the studio. Let's make love in the studio. Let's make love in the... Do you mind if I pluck up on your strings for 1 minute? And do you mind if I do some nasty things for 1 minute? Girl, if I could, I would stroke your body like I do my keyboard. Are you ready? Ready to do something you never did before? Let's make love in the studio. Oh, yeah, I had to hit him with that studio. What's up, everybody? Let's go ahead and let's do what we came here to do. I'm feeling good tonight. It's been a while. I have been trying to go live for 2 days, and now I'm here, and it's happening, and we're going to have us a great show tonight. I feel really good about this show. This show here came about, I'm talking like at 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 days ago, I prepared this show. Real talk. 4 o'clock in the morning, I was like, what is going on? And it was like I was like Pookie in New Jack City. It just be calling me, man. It be calling me, man. I just gotta go to it, man. I need help, man. I need help. It was just calling me, man. Yes, I have voted. And I hope, because I've been telling everybody to vote early. So I hope y'all have voted early. I am so glad that I did. I'm telling you. From now, and I've only voted early like twice, I think, or maybe 3 times. No, twice. I've only voted early twice. And I'm telling you, I am going to make it a habit now to vote early. And I suggest everybody start doing that. Start voting early. I look at it like this. It's not that you have 2 opportunities to vote. You either vote on election day or vote before. It's just the voting process should take that long. When you're talking about counting votes, counting ballots, and all that kind of stuff, all that nonsense, get your vote in early so that you can make sure that your vote counts. I'm telling you right now, because there are people who are going to be last minute, who are going to show up on Tuesday, going to be standing in line. And if you go vote on Tuesday, let me tell y'all this before I even get started. If you go vote on Tuesday, take you a chair, take you some snacks, and take you an umbrella. 3 things. Take you a chair, take you something to eat or some snacks, and take your umbrella. Don't be stupid thinking you just going to walk in, stand in line for 20 minutes, and then vote. I'm telling you right now, that shit ain't going to happen. So make sure that you are prepared to wait. Those of you who waited to the last minute to vote, who got to go vote on Tuesday, go and be prepared. Get you a chair, one of them little lawn chairs so you can sit in line. Get you something to eat, something to drink, have you some water out there, whatever you need. Get your umbrella. If you in one of these cold-ass states, all my niggas in Chicago and Michigan and all of these up north states, hey, make sure you are prepared. Take you a blanket, get your triple fat goose on. If you're still rocking that, don't wear your 8-ball jacket trying to be cool. Get your triple fat goose on and get your scub cap, your scully on, and go out there. I'm telling you right now, make sure that you are prepared to wait. Be expecting to wait. But just go, give yourself enough time, because if you out there and you in line, they got to count your vote. It ain't no, oh, it's 7 o'clock, they cutting it off. No. Go and exercise your right to vote. Make them motherfuckers count your vote. Make sure you have your ID. If your ID is expired, go get your ID or your license renewed and all that kind of shit so you ain't got no problems, no trouble. Hey, I just closed another circle. That's what's up. But make sure that you do that. All right? Cool. Now that we can get that out the way, another thing is we are up to 6,400, almost 6,500. It's like 6,480 subs, and we on the road to 10,000. So I need y'all to click that like button, click that share button. Make sure that y'all are sending. I told you, everybody that's a sub need to go find and bring a sub. Do something. Tell your friend. Tell your mama. Tell your granddaddy. Tell your next door neighbor. You need to subscribe to my channel. Send them the link and tell them to click the subscribe button. All right? Cool. Also, another thing that I just realized, we are almost at 2,500 subs on the United Guns of America. So that channel is slowly but surely, it's just growing. We just putting a little water and a little time on it, and it's growing. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and go to my favorite part of the show, and then we're going to move on into the topic. All right? Let's do this.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107.
This is like a ghetto mojito, and it's good. I'm telling you right now, I'm enjoying that. I like mojitos, but I need to learn how to make mojito. I do. I really do. Yes, it's like I went to the Cheesecake Factory to celebrate a good friend's birthday. Shout out to BFL. Happy birthday to you. But we was at the Cheesecake Factory, and they had this cucumber lemonade, cucumber mint lemonade or something. Basically, it's kind of like lemonade with all the stuff a mojito got except for the liquor. So I got one of my refills in a to-go cup. So when I got home, I said, let me put a little vodka in here and make this a real mojito. And it is. It's very good. I'm enjoying it, yes. But I need to learn how to make mojitos. I actually got the stuff to make it. I just haven't actually done it. I got the, what is it, the little lime mix to go with it, the mojito mix. I got the seltzer. It's not seltzer water. It's some other kind of water that you use with it to give it that little bubbly. And I just got to get some mint and I can make some. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and do this. So what I was watching was 60 Minutes. And 60 Minutes interviewed Donald Trump and they interviewed Joe Biden. And what was so weird to me, it was just the approach to both of these guys' interview. And I didn't understand why. I understood it. I get it. But I'm telling you, I really truly believe that we are at the point now where I understand that the whole media piece and what media does, they have allegiances to. You know, you have your 60 Minutes, you have your CNNs, you got your MSNBCs, you got your Fox Newses, you got all of these media outlets that have their allegiances. Problem that I have with that, and what I think we're at the point now where there needs to be some type of legislation because of the internet, and because what the amount of people that can be reached on the internet, and the fact that you have a lot of major corporations, or should I say these social media, or what they call big tech, if you will, the way that they are able to manipulate social media, I think because they are such a large entity that there should be some legislation that they need to be able to, you know, to stop them from essentially denying freedom of speech. I really do. I really do think that. And I think that when you're talking about what capabilities Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, what these entities are able to do as far as censorship, they can pretty much shut down anybody or anything that they want to on social media, and there's nothing that can be done about it. And the same thing with the media stations. When you're talking about your CNNs, your Fox Newses, your MSNBCs, your CBS, your NBCs, they pretty much get to tell the story they want. They get to do the narrative that they want to put out there is what they do. My thing is, you're not a company anymore that's like a private business. You're not a private business or a private corporation when you are able to influence the masses based on how you control the media. When you're able to say, the only thing we're going to put out here is stuff about Joe Biden, and it's going out to the world. Or the only thing we're going to put out here is stuff about Trump. Or if you talk about this, we're not going to allow, we're going to shut you down and delete your account. That's a problem. And one of the biggest things that I when I saw this happen, I said, holy shit, social media has gone too far. When they shut down the New York Post about this Joe Biden son, Hunter Biden shit, I said, yeah. Anytime you have social media has the power to actually shut down and censor other media outlets or the press, that's a problem. That is a problem. In the land of free speech, in the land of the First Amendment, in the land of saying being able to say what we want, how we want, all that shit, when you have social media has the ability to literally shut down a topic, like how they shut down the topic with COVID. They shut down. You couldn't talk about COVID. You couldn't talk about none of the medicines for COVID. You couldn't do any of that, and they shut you down. Or you get kicked off of Twitter, or you getting kicked off of Instagram, you getting banned here, put in Facebook jail. All of that kind of stuff, you have to think about it to say, well, who's actually deciding these things and controlling that? And it's like when you're talking about journalism, the integrity of journalism, it is all but gone. It really is. And the fact that these media outlets will put anything that they want on the internet, put anything that they want out in the media, it's a problem when they're just the sole decision makers on who gets to say what. In America, that should not be something that's happening. With the First Amendment, that should not be happening. Say whatever you want to say. You can back whatever candidate you want to back. But to have a media outlet that is solely controlling one particular narrative because that's who they want to support, controlling this narrative because that's what, and it's a media outlet like that, that's not good. That is not good. The fact that you have people that get banned for this or banned for that, it's like that's where it started. But now the thing is, where does it really end? When does it stop to say, oh, well, you can't just do this. You can't just cut this person off. You can't just tell this person they can't talk about this. You can't have it to where people can't talk about. If these people are deciding who gets to say what, and that's essentially what it comes down to, that's a huge problem. And there needs to be something done from a legislation standpoint to where it's against the law to do that. And if you're going to continue to be the social media conglomerate that you are, or the social media giant that you are, once you hit a certain level, a certain status to where you are able to influence the country and the media and the world, then you are held to this particular set of guidelines or this particular part of the amendment of the First Amendment where you cannot do that. You can't just shut a person down because you don't like what they're saying. And that's where we've gotten to. So it's like, and I mean, even when we talk about the whole fake news this and fake news that, and they putting this out, you should be able to put out whatever you want to put out. And unless there's something that factually discredits what that person is saying, then you should have a point. When it is not, I should have a right to say what it is that I want, say what it is that I believe, say what it is that I feel. I should be able to do that. And anytime that you begin to pull at the very thread or pull the thread of that fabric, you are beginning to unravel the whole entire thing. And before you know it, pulling on that little thread, eventually, once you pull it long enough, you're going to realize that you've torn away or pulled away so much of the fabric that there's none left. So I'm just saying that as a what do you want to call it? A preface or preface to what we doing, what we talking about here, because it's like you can see the spin and what's being said and how it's being said. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because I just wanted to just shoot it plain and simple. Plain and simple. I just wanted to just tell it how it is and see what things are from there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's do this.
Tonight, in what has become an election year tradition for 60 Minutes.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I realize that I don't watch 60 Minutes too much because I have no idea who this lady is. I just don't. I was like, who the hell is this? At first, I thought it was Barbara Walters because I said, oh, old white lady, that's Barbara Walters. Then I said, wait a minute. Hey, I ain't no Barbara Walters. I don't know who this lady is, but let's go ahead.
Conversations with the major party candidates for president and vice president of the United States. Later, Norah O'Donnell interviews former Vice President Joe Biden and his running mate, Senator Kamala Harris. But we begin with President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence. I spoke with the president on Tuesday in the Roosevelt Room at the White House.
The story will continue in a moment.
See?
We had prepared to talk about the many issues and questions facing the president. But in what has become an all-too-public dust-up, the conversation was cut short. It began politely, but ended, regrettably, contentiously. Are you ready for some tough questions?
You're going to be fair.
I'm going to be fair.
Just be fair.
Now, here's my thing. When I first saw this, I said, what the fuck kind of shit is that? Who opens up an interview and let alone an interview with the president with saying that? Like, are you ready for some tough questions? Like, what do you mean? Like, what is a tough question? I didn't understand. I don't understand that. Like, what is a tough question? I mean, it could be questions that you could ask. There could be a complex question, but what's a tough question to ask? I don't know. I mean, and by all means, if somebody can educate me on that, please do. Because what I would take that as not a complex question. Yes, there could be many facets to a question, but if there's a question that I don't have the answer to, it doesn't necessarily make it, I guess a tough question or a hard question would be something I can't answer. But it's like, if I have an answer for it, then why would that make it a tough question? And I mean, if you're talking to me, because I'm quite sure that these people have some type of discourse, say, hey, what the hell are we talking about tonight? What are we going to go over? What areas we going to talk about? And if there's an area where I don't have information, or I don't have, and I can't speak to it, then I would say, well, hey, I can't speak to that, so let's not talk about that. I'm just saying this. If I'm having an interview with somebody and I'm sitting down and rocket science is on the agenda, I'm going to tell you right off bat, it's no point in even bringing that up because I can't speak to it. I just can't. I cannot tell you anything about rocket science. I don't have any information. All I know is that rocket science is the study of rockets. That's it. How they work, what they do, and that's pretty much it. I don't know. I guess I don't get that. So it's like, it's weird to me. That's just to me. It's kind of one of those things, and especially with you being a person who's actually interviewing somebody like the president, I'm not going to start off a conversation like that. I'm not going to start off an interview like that, because that's letting you know I'm coming with some bullshit in the dough. And to Trump's point, he tried to give her the benefit of the doubt and says, you're going to be fair. You're going to be fair. And that's one of the things I don't understand about, the questions that people may have for the president, for this administration, the things that you may want to confront the president or this administration about and how they handle certain things. I'm all for that. But there should be a fairness into what he's speaking about. There should be a fairness to say, no, not to talk to me about it, but the fairness should be, well, how have you held other presidents and other administrations before me accountable to the same type of thing? Because I promise to God, I cannot remember a single interview with Barack Obama and all of the shit that went on for his 8 years. I cannot remember any interview starting off like that. I can't remember. If somebody can find it, please send me the link to it. I cannot remember a single interview that started out with Barack Obama before he even spoke a single word saying, you ready to answer some tough questions? I've never heard it. So to me, that lets you know that you coming with some fuckery already. But let's go ahead.
But you're okay with some tough questions.
No, I'm not. I
You're
mean,
not okay with tough
I want him
questions?
to be fair. You don't ask Biden tough questions. So. Okay. Are
You ready? Everybody ready? So we have the pandemic. On your watch, we've had racial strife. We've had looting. Why do you want this job? Why do you want to be president again?
Because we've done a great job, and it's not finished yet. And when I finish, this country will be in a position like it hasn't been maybe ever. The economy is already roaring back, and other people aren't going to bring it back. Certainly the person that we're dealing with is not going to bring it back. They're going to raise taxes.
Let me ask you.
And here's my thing. Why do people keep asking Donald Trump if they've done a good job, or if they've handled things correctly, or if they've done the best? I don't understand, like, is there a presidential candidate, or is there a political candidate, period, that would come out or has come out and said, oh, I've done a terrible job. Oh, I've done just the worst possible job. I mean, you talking about fuck ups right here. Has there been a president, a political candidate, or anybody that has said that? So it's like, why would you ask a question about how somebody's doing and expecting them to say something that is anything but, well, I think we did a good job, or I think we handled it as best we could? It to me sounds like it's such a weird question to ask. I don't know of anybody, especially in politics, that you can ask that question and they would just come out and say, no, we fucked up. We've done a terrible job. There's going to be some different view or some different type of excuse as to why they think. They're not necessarily saying, oh, we've done the best we've ever done. But why would they say, hey, yeah, I fucked up, guys, I'm sorry? You ain't going to hear a president say that. You're not going to hear a politician say that. You can catch, just like when you catch a politician butt-ass naked in a hotel room with two other guys, pass the fuck out, and ain't nothing but lube and drugs everywhere. You still got a person to come and say, oh, well, I was just trying to find myself, and now I realize that I'm bisexual. No shit. After a weekend of raw, butt-naked prostitute sex with two dudes, I would think that you would be gay. At the least, bisexual. But he didn't even come out and say, yeah, I'm gay. Yeah, I'm gay. You know, pretty much. I like guys. And fancy fellas. That's pretty much what I do. They're not saying that. Even then, caught red-handed. Or should I say, black-assed it. You caught with your ass out, passed out, with drugs everywhere. Meth. I ain't talking about no weed. I'm talking meth. Niggas throwing up on themselves, passed out, laid out everywhere, piss everywhere. It's just a fucking just debauchery at its finest. And still came back and says, well, you know, I realize that I'm bisexual. So fuck the meth. There was no women in this room for the weekend in Miami. You just getting it in with two white dudes and enjoying yourself, having a whale of a time on each other. And what do we say? Do somebody sit down with him and say, Andrew, we're going to ask you some tough questions? Nobody said that, did they? They just let him come and tell his truth. When we all knew the truth, we see the evidence clear as day, but we still didn't sit him down and say, are you ready to answer some tough questions, Andrew? Because we caught you doing some real skeptical, fuck suspect type shit now. Oh, I'm still in love with my wife and we're going to work things. Right. I'm just saying.
What you think your the biggest domestic priority is for you right now?
Well,
or next
ultimately,
year.
let me, and I'll tell you, it was happening. We created the greatest economy in the history of our country, and the other side
You
was
know
coming
that.
in.
You know that's not true.
It is totally true.
No. It isn't. But President Trump did have.
Now, here's my thing. If it's not, why wouldn't you be able to say why it's not? As opposed to just saying, it's not true. I tell you what. You tell me when the last time before COVID that the economy was thriving the way that it was, and I'll agree with you. Because I can tell you right now, that shit ain't happened in my lifespan, in my generation. Going back 3-4 presidents. I'm just saying, going back 3 to 4 presidents, just go back and let's take a look and say, hey, you look at Obama's administration, we know because he came in right during a depression. Then, when you went before that, you had George Bush Jr. Wasn't booming then. Before that, you had Clinton. Wasn't booming then, even though even though Bush did have said there was a surplus, and everybody got a $300 check when he got in the office. Y'all remember that, don't you? Before him, you had before Clinton, you had Bush Sr. That's 4 presidents. Tell me when the economy was booming. I'm talking the majority of people are eating across the board. Black employment was at an all-time high. Tell me that. When was that moment? Just saying. Tell me when that moment came and I can say, okay, and the fact that she's just saying it's just not true, that don't mean that that's not true. But it is what it is.
Have an impressive string of economic accomplishments.
We had the best stock market price ever, and we're getting close to that price again. The unemployment.
Is the stock market not a part of the economy? Just saying. I'm just saying. Is it the best? Just tell me that.
Numbers for African Americans, for Asian Americans, for Hispanic Americans, virtually.
And to what standard he's saying? He's saying, hey, we talking about, for the most part, if the economy is doing well, that means, in general, the majority of the people, which are Caucasians, aka white folks, they gonna be doing fairly well. When you're talking about minority groups, Hispanics, black folks, Asians, like he said, and whoever else, when they're doing well too, and they're the minority, then you really must be providing there must be the existence of a good economy. How is it that it's still, oh, well, you still got this problem. It's going to always be an issue or a problem somewhere. But when you have a thriving economy like that, and to the point to where the minority people, and I'm talking the minority strictly based on numbers perspective, when they eating too, things are pretty good. And I can't tell you in my adult life when there's been that much of a plethora of prosperity going on in our country. I can't tell you. I cannot tell you. That's why I said maybe it was before I became an adult or before my time that happened. But she had no facts and no evidence to support it, but she just wanted to say, that's not true.
Every number was the best. And what was happening is things were coming together.
Well, I asked you, what's the priority? I mean, those are all the good things. What do you have to solve?
The priority now is to...
She said, that's the priority, and those are all the good... That's not the priority, but those are all the good things. He just literally spoke to your point about you saying that it wasn't the best economy ever. And all I'm saying is, if somebody tells me that, then I would expect that person to have some facts to support it. It's just like I was talking with some people at work about Michael Jordan being the best. If somebody tells me that Michael Jordan ain't the GOAT, you better have some facts. Just like when people tell me, hey man, LeBron James is the GOAT. I have facts to support why he's not. You might love LeBron. I like LeBron myself. Ever since he went back to Cleveland, I've been cool with LeBron. I actually have more respect for LeBron for what he's done off court and just how he's carried himself within just being a superstar of his magnitude. He's carried himself extremely well as a black man. I don't agree with all the things he say, but the way he carries himself, I have a lot of respect for him, and I like him because of that. But you ain't gonna never tell me that LeBron is better than Mike. There are plenty of factual instances and evidence and statistics that show that he is not better than Mike. Is he a great player? Absolutely. Is he better than Michael Jordan in some areas? Sure is. Is he the greatest basketball player of all time? No, he is not. Plain and simple. You can talk about when he retire, all of the numbers is going to say he the best and all that, whatever the hell you want to say. Until he do 2-3 peats, shut the fuck up talking to me about LeBron James being the GOAT. That I'm not even having a conversation until he does 2-3 peats. All right? Till then, I don't want to hear shit. That's all I got to say.
Get back to normal, get back to where we were, to have the economy rage and be great with jobs and everybody be happy. And that's where we're going, and that's where we're heading.
And who is our biggest foreign adversary?
I would say China. They're an adversary.
They're the biggest.
A competitor. They're a foe in many ways, but they're an adversary. I think what happened was disgraceful. Should never.
Hey, look here, Jose Picos. Say what you want, but don't spam my chat, dude. Right. Don't spam my chat, dude. You can say what you want to say, but don't spam my chat. We don't do that here. I know you new, and it's your first time, but we don't do that here. Everybody can say what they want to say, and you can express yourself. That's fine, but don't spam my chat. It's disrespectful.
Never have happened. They should never have allowed this plague to get out of China and go throughout the world. 188 countries. Should never have happened.
4 years ago, you were behind in the polls, as you are now, and you pulled.
And here's my thing with that. Let me tell y'all something. This whole behind the polls thing, it's a bunch of bullshit because it's the same shit they said when he ran against Hillary. He was so far below in the polls. He was so down in the polls. How do y'all take these poll numbers and he ain't never up? He ain't never winning in the polls. Just stop. I'm telling you right now, everybody tell me when they've ever said from the last time to this time that Trump was leading in the polls. He was never leading the whole entire time he was even a candidate on the Republic amongst his Republican peers. He was never leading in the polls. Never leading in the polls. Got the nomination, still wasn't leading in the polls. Everybody thought he was a joke. They was laughing at him, saying he wasn't going to do nothing. He's a waste of time and all that. Fucked around and won and beat Hillary, and then what? Everybody sitting there looking like, well, maybe he wasn't leading. It wasn't down in the polls. And they're saying the same shit now. How is it that when you go and you look at all of these rallies, you look at a Biden rally and you look at a Trump rally, day in and day out, it's droves of people at Trump rallies. These motherfuckers get yacht rallies. Rallies in their cars, rallies on the road. They got rallies showing when this dude show up, everybody's showing up. And it can't be, oh, they all just going to the same place. Nope. Then when you look at a Biden rally, it's 8 cars out there. It's such, the crowds for Biden rallies are so small that they're not even showing the crowds. Tell me, am I lying? Stop me if I'm lying, please. They're not even showing the crowds when you see Biden out there. The few times he's been out there, they're not even showing the crowd. They just show him talking. Even when Obama was out there, it's like they're not even showing up to their own shit. I'm just saying. So it's like they talk about these polls, and you know what this shit reminds me of? They talk about the polls just like they talk about COVID cases. And I'm going to get to that in a minute too, because I'm sick of that shit. But let's go.
Pulled it out. But this time you have kind of a double migraine. You have unemployment claims going up. You have COVID cases going up. I mean, it's like the gods have suddenly decided to conspire against you.
I don't think so at all. No, I think.
Well,
how would the gods be conspiring against him? What do you mean? Unemployment is up because you motherfucking governors have shut every fucking thing down. It's inevitable. It's like it's inevitable. The pandemic is here, and the pandemic has been here, and all of the shit that y'all been saying about the pandemic is not true. So it's like, I don't get, what do you mean the gods are against me? How would the gods be against me? It's not like the gods put COVID in America just because of Trump. This is a global thing. So I guess the gods are against China, the president of China, whatever his name is. They're against Europe. They're against Canada. They're against Italy. They're against every other fucking country in the world. The gods must be against them too. Switzerland, Australia, the gods are against them. That's all I'm saying. They must be. If the gods are against Trump, based on what she's saying, based on her logic, as Tommy would say, based on your logic, the gods are against everybody in the fucking world. It's like, I don't know why would you come with that type of question trying to say, hey, the gods are against you. This shit ain't got nothing to do with me specifically. How is this something that's dealing? And my thing is this with this whole pandemic thing. Y'all acting like Trump could have stopped this shit. It's a fucking virus. That's like you telling me to stop the common cold. It's like you telling me to stop the flu. It's like you telling me I need to stop pneumonia. I need to stop every fucking virus that has ever come to exist. I have a way to stop it. Like, there is a way to stop it. It's a fucking virus, people. There is no way to stop it. Once it's here, it's here. And I mean here as to once it's out amongst the people. That's it. There ain't no, oh, we can cut it off here and that'll be the end of it. It'll go away. It don't ever go away. I don't understand why people are trying to have this concept that it could have been stopped. It can't. It cannot be stopped. That's why it's every fucking where.
Great job with COVID.
Sir, excuse me, cases are up in about 40 states.
You know why cases are up also? Because we do more testing. The fake news.
And that's my thing too. What he's saying, and this is the thing that I want everybody to understand this. Here's where the bullshit is with this. Cases and deaths are two fucking different things. Just because I have COVID doesn't mean that I'm going to die from COVID. The other part to that is, just because I have COVID don't even mean I'm experiencing the side effects or the afflictions of COVID. There are more than enough people who have it who don't even fucking know they have it. It's more people, hear this, there are more people that are asymptomatic to COVID than there are people who actually have it and have the symptoms of COVID. Way more people. I don't understand why y'all so caught up in cases. It's 40 billion cases. Okay, how many people have died? You should be concerned. Here are the things, because I'm not saying that COVID ain't real. I'm not saying COVID is a hoax and all that stupid shit. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this. COVID, number one, what you should be concerned about, it's not the cases. You should be concerned about how many people are in the hospital for it, how many people are dying. That's it. How many, and here's why I'm telling you that. How many times have you heard people report the cases of H1N1? I'll wait. H1N1 has been around since it's been out. Back in what, 2004, some shit like that, 2008, whenever the fuck it came out. Do you realize that H1N1, aka swine flu, it's still here today? Not just here in the US, it is all over the world. Do you see the daily reports of those cases? When it first hit, did you see the daily report of those cases? Did you hear people say, oh, there are 82,000 cases, new cases today in Switzerland? H1N1 is up on the rise again. You never heard it. That lets you know that it's being fucking, that we're being spent. We're being taken for a fucking ride. This shit is not, it's not about saying we got to count the cases. The cases don't fucking matter. How many people are in the hospital and how many people are actually dying? Because and my thing with the hospital is being in the hospital, how many people, and that's when the hospital is getting overran. Hospital is getting at capacity, which ain't happened. The fucking Army Corps of Engineers went to fucking Chicago and turned out the old McCormick place, put in like fucking 16 or 60,000 fucking new beds. Them motherfuckers ain't used not even 10% of them. The facility is closed. How about that? Went and spent hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to build a hospital and didn't even use it. And that lets you know that this shit is not it's not killing people like they thought. They said we was gonna lose 2.5 million people. We scratching at 200,000. And half of them numbers are fucking fake. Why you say them numbers are fake, Brian? I'll tell you why. Because number one, the numbers of the deaths have been getting counted, and I've said this plenty of times before. The number of the deaths that has been counted since January. How do you count COVID deaths without a COVID test? COVID test didn't even become available until April. So for 4 months, we counted deaths that were COVID and had no test to prove it. So I'm just telling y'all, you tell me then how, if I'm wrong, you tell me how you do that. How do you count a COVID death and you don't have a COVID test? Did they go back and test the dead bodies? No. How did you do it? How did you count it at a COVID death? You had a motherfucker just look at a body, look at it and say, it's COVID. That's it. Like once you got COVID, a C-19 got branded on your forehead, and that way we knew. It makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. And to those people that are in the chat, if you disagree and you want to come on, we can have a conversation. I ain't tripping. I'm not tripping on that. You want to come on, I will open up the StreamYards and we can have a conversation about it and we can talk about it. It's fine. But I'm just telling you right now, that shit is not what you think it is. And it's so much of it that's just fluff. It's so much that's just being brought up because they want to scare you. They want you to be so afraid to think that this is the worst thing that could ever happen to you. Now, if you have high risk and you have comorbidities, absolutely. You need to stay your punk ass in the house. If you over the age of 65, your ass need to be in the house. You need to be, what do they call it? Sheltered in place? Absolutely. And because that shit is basically like pneumonia. Pneumonia kills thousands of motherfuckers every year. Ain't no cure for it. Ain't no shot to not get it. It happens. And this is the same way.
Media loves to say cases are up. The fact is we've done a very, very good job.
Cases are up.
We have done, that's right, because we're doing so much
And
testing.
see, here's what I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna stop it just for this. So Caleb Desta said, I have lost. He says, I have lost. Did he say my brother? I have lost my oldest brother and my dad the same month, bro. I understand that, man. I understand that. And hey, I'm sorry for your loss. I have lost people as well. There are people that I've known that have died. All I'm saying though, those handful of people that we know and that we care about, they don't compare to the 325 million people in this country, Caleb. And I understand that you have had loss. We've all had losses. We've all had people that have died from not just this, but from anything. Cancer. Still kicking people's ass way more than COVID. I can tell you right now, there are more people that I've known that have died from cancer in this past year, died from heart attack over this past year, than they've died from COVID. Or if they did die, they had one of those comorbidities. That comes down to, hey, I understand what you're saying, and it's not about just you. It's about the entire country, man. There are people who die every single day. Car accidents. Die from medical mishaps. They die because they didn't wake up, died in their sleep from a heart attack, died because of high blood pressure, died because of stress. There are plenty of people that die every day. But you don't shut down an entire country and blame all of this shit on a president because that's happened. Because regardless of who was the president, the fact that this hit would not have stopped those deaths, man. And you can say, if he done it a month or two earlier, it would have. Once it gets here, it's here. There is no, oh, we can stop it, corner it off, keep it out. Because if that was the case, every other country, there would be countries that ain't had no cases. And there isn't one. That's all I'm saying. So I understand that you've lost people. You ain't the only one. Plenty of people have lost people. Not just to COVID, but to a multitude of other things. So it's not a stop it, bro. It's me just telling the truth and presenting the facts. And the fact that you've lost somebody, it's sad, but it doesn't justify the reaction that the country has taken to where we got 50-something million people not working because we saying shut down.
Testing. But according to the COVID Tracking Project, that doesn't account for all of the rise in new cases sweeping the country or the 40% increase in hospitalization.
Jihad. No, Brian, if that was true, every other country would have 200,000 deaths. Did you not hear what was just said? The reason why that is because we test more than anybody. And those numbers, like I just told you, are not accurate. You cannot control a virus. If you could, it would be done.
In the past month.
When you're out there saying we've turned the corner, this thing is disappearing,
That's
and
right. We have
people
turned
can
the corner.
see
We have turned the
people
corner.
can see cases going up all over in the Midwest, in the Mountain West. Record numbers of
We have
cases in
turned the
some
corner.
states.
We understand the disease. We understand the elderly, and we are taking care of them like nobody's ever taken care of them. So we are taking care of our people.
Okay, let me ask you something about suburban women.
Yeah.
Suburban women, will you please like me? Remember? Please. Please. I saved your damn neighborhood, okay?
You said the other day to suburban women, will you please like me, please, please?
Oh, I didn't say that. You know, that's so misleading the way I say jokingly, suburban women, you should love me because I'm giving you security and I got rid of the worst regulation. See, the way you said that is why people think of you and everyone else.
And here's my thing to that. He said that and said things like that way at plenty of his other rallies. If you look at any of his rallies, you will see him jokingly talk like that. You will see him speak like that and say, you know, such and such, hey, it is what it is. And he says what he want to say, and he be talking about cats. I get it. But that's what he said. He's not begging those people like she's trying to make it out to be, like he's begging them to like him. It's like he don't give a shit to that degree to where, please, y'all, like me. It's a difference between begging and it's a difference between actually mentioning a particular area or a particular group that you're trying to speak to. They are trying to make that shit like he was begging, and it's not true. He was literally bringing that shit up. If you ever watch any of his rallies, you will see that that's how he speaks.
This fake news. I said kiddingly, suburban women, you should love me. I got rid of a regulation
You
that
said,
would bring
quote,
low-income housing into suburbia that would destroy suburbia. And I said that in a joking way. The way you have it, it's like, oh, like I'm begging. I'm kidding. Play it, and I'm kidding. That is such a misleading question, Leslie.
but you're behind with suburban women in the polls.
I doubt it.
Okay, but it's a misleading question though. And my thing is, why would you say that? Or why wouldn't you just ask and say, well, what did you mean when you said that? Why not just say that shit? It's like you're making it see, it's like she's putting shit out there, like she's just trying to just draw a narrative and just trying to say, well, this is what everybody's saying. So what do you say of that? What do you say to that? If you're having an interview, why not just say that as opposed to just trying to just be, for the most part, just a bitch? Essentially, that's essentially what you're just being. You're not trying to have a conversation. You're just literally here to talk shit. That's it.
I doubt it. I really doubt it.
One of the reasons is that they don't feel you're being upfront about the pandemic. Are you deliberately
We're rounding the corner.
downplaying
We're
it?
doing well. We're doing well. We understand the disease. We've done a good job. We've done maybe a great job. What we haven't done a good job on is convincing people like you, because you're really quite impossible to convince, but that's okay. And the economy now is coming back, and it's coming back very strongly. And people see that, Leslie.
There are more unemployment claims. I mean, the economy has kind of
Leslie, we
stalled
just
a little
picked up
bit.
11.4 million jobs. It's the largest number in the history of our country.
It is true that of the 22 million jobs
Boom. So the fact that we had all these the fact that we had all these motherfucking jobs lost, and the fact that we bringing jobs back, that don't mean shit. Now, to Mr. Jihad's point about talking about you can stop a pandemic, you can stop a virus. Let me show you something, sir. Do you see this here? This is the WHO dashboard. And pretty much what this shows is this shows all of the cases and deaths. That's what this is showing. Now, when you look at these, how the fuck does Greenland have only 17 confirmed cases? Do you really honestly truly believe that Greenland only got 17 motherfucking cases of COVID? Seriously? When you look at Canada, 230,000 cases of COVID. That's what we mean when we saying that the United States are testing more than anybody else. And anybody else when they're testing, look at this, Brazil, 5 million cases, 159,000 deaths. So how the hell do we we got almost 9 million with 228,000 deaths. These motherfuckers got 5 million with 159,000 deaths, 160,000 deaths. The numbers, look at the numbers. How do you have 141,000 confirmed cases, 8,000 deaths? 900,000 cases, 34,000 deaths. 1 million confirmed cases, 30,000 deaths. Look at Australia, 27,000 cases, only 907 deaths. Really? Just look at that. I mean, just tell me. You look at this. The Russian Federation, 1.6 million confirmed cases, 28,000 deaths. China, 1 billion motherfuckers in China. This is my doozy right here. 1 billion people in China. It's actually over 1 billion. They got 91,000 cases and only 4,700 deaths. So Chinese people just ain't dying. Is that what the fuck we saying? Are y'all serious? You really think that this shit is really like the virus just say, oh no, we ain't going here. No way. We ain't going to China where this shit started. They started this COVID shit, and it's the motherfucking thanks we get. Do you see this? Look at all these countries. Here's the thing. Here's why I'm contesting this shit is why the numbers are fucking lies. And why we padding the numbers. Here's why I'm telling you how I know we padding the numbers. Because number one, these motherfuckers ain't testing as much as we are. These motherfuckers are not reporting the way that we're reporting. And how the fuck do we have such a jump like that when you're talking about 1 billion people and they have less than 100,000 cases? Dude, that is mathematically impossible. It just is. It just is. And it's one of two things. They're either not reporting or they are just not testing. Personally, it's a combination of both. Because these other motherfucking countries, they hospitals don't get a kickback for every COVID patient and every COVID death like we do in our country. See, you don't realize the money behind this shit. There are plenty of these hospitals, all of these motherfucking hospitals, they got kickbacks from the motherfucking relief fund, the $5 trillion that we gave up, that we just printed up off the press. They get money for the shit. So that's why they have a reason to report bullshit numbers so that they can pad their fucking book, their revenues. That's what it is. I'm telling y'all. You can try to, oh no, that ain't true. That ain't true. Look at China, dude, and look at us. They have 1 billion people. Over 1 billion. So you tell me, if you telling me that this is stopping COVID in China, but the shit ain't working here, then I tell you what, I got 4 bridges that I got on sale. I'm putting together as a bulk buy for just $100,000. You can charge whatever you want to charge. You can charge people to come across the bridge and everything. Just send me the $100,000 and I will send you all 4 deeds to the 4 bridges that I'm selling. I'm selling the Golden Gate. I'm selling the New York Bridge. The Tampan Z. I'm selling the bridge in Louisiana, the big long motherfucker. I'm selling that one. And then I'm selling the bridge in Memphis that go over from Arkansas over to Memphis. Actually, I'm selling both of them bridges, so it's 5 altogether. Tell me that. If y'all really think that motherfucking China got this shit figured out and these motherfuckers ain't got COVID over there no more because they only got less than 5,000 cases out of 91,000, dude, that shit don't even sound like it's right. Now, here's the other part to that. When you look at the numbers that we have, it's less than 1% of the people that are dying from that. And then more than half of those people that are dying from that, they are people that are over 60 years old and have comorbidities. One of the two. Your average healthy motherfucking 080 to 50 years old ain't fucking catching this shit and dying from it. That's why the percentages are so low. Even the doctors had this shit wrong, talking about it's going to be 2.5 million lives lost. We scratching 200,000, and them numbers ain't even true. So that's how I'm telling you this. I'm not sitting here making shit up. I'm not sitting here, but now it's not serious. I don't know what you're saying. I did the videos where from Wuhan. I don't know. I can't follow back all that. I'm just saying, this mask don't stop COVID. Them little fancy cloth masks that y'all wearing ain't stopping COVID. I don't understand why y'all think that shit is working. Even the CDC has come out and said these shits don't work. So now what? Y'all always talking about we need to believe the scientists. The scientists are telling you man, this shit don't work. So now what? So think about it. Why are we wearing something that don't work? Jihad, you said scratching, it's over 220,000 deaths. Yes. Get your calculator out and you look at the percentage of 200,000 based on 325 million people. You tell me if that's scratching or not. I'm telling y'all, we people and niggas, y'all gotta start being smart and looking at numbers. And just stop letting one side of what a motherfucker's telling you be the thing that just drives you over the edge. Look at the entire picture. Get the totality of the circumstances. If I tell your ass I'm gonna give you $323 million and all you need to give me is 200,000, are you gonna miss that 200,000? Just tell me that. You just tell me. I'm not trying to be warm. You saying that's a cold way to look at it. It's the factual way to look at it, man. There are people that die in this country and in this world every single day. And I wouldn't dare try to justify the ones that's good to die, the ones that shouldn't die, the ones that did die, the ones that wouldn't die. I'm not here to talk about that. A death is a death. I'm not negating that. All I'm telling you is that when you talk about the greater good of the whole, us as a country, that's just like us saying we ain't gonna fight no wars because we don't want one of our soldiers to die. We cool with that shit though, ain't we? That's all I'm saying. So when you look at these numbers, when you look at this shit and you see, look at fucking Russia, this big dumbass motherfucking country with 1.6 million confirmed cases and 28,000 deaths, you can't tell me that that shit is accurate. You cannot tell me that. I'm not that stupid. I ain't the smartest motherfucker in the world, but I ain't the dumbest. Exact. Thank you, Amanda. 1.25 million people die in auto accidents every year, but no one has banned cars. The country ain't rolled out horses to everybody, have they? Motherfuckers ain't trading in their Cadillacs for a goddamn Clydesdale, are you? You ain't trading in your Ford Mustang for a newly bred Mustang, are you? You don't see the streets being ripped up and dirt roads being put in. There ain't been an uptick in horseshoeing. Has it? Is that a cold way to look at it? Niggas care about what motherfuckers tell them to care about. When you look at the reality, I can have as many cars as I want. I can drive those cars anywhere I want. I can do whatever the fuck I want with my car. Ain't nobody trying to stop me from driving. Ain't nobody trying to ban me from driving at this certain time of the day. But yet and still, 1.2 million people are dying in car accidents. How many people die from cancer? I think it's something like 600,000 people die every fucking year from cancer. If I'm not mistaken. I'm just telling you, man, you have to look at the totality of the circumstances. Don't just get one little piece of information and run the fuck off with it. Say, well, wait a minute. Because when a person presents you with some facts, all you do is say, yep, they ain't supporting my narrative, so I ain't gonna acknowledge it. Let me keep moving.
Jobs lost since February, 11.4 million have been restored. Yet unemployment claims are running at historically high levels. But the president sees the economy.
And why wouldn't we have unemployment at an historically high level? Why wouldn't we have the economy at its worst point, drop the fuck off to the point of a fucking depression? Why would we not have that when we've done something we've never done before to our economy. We ain't never sent motherfuckers home. We ain't never put curfews on people to say you can't open up your business from this time to this time. You can't go here. You can't go there. You got to wear a mask everywhere you go. We've never done anything like this. Why wouldn't we have record numbers everywhere with something we've never done before that it affects the entire nation? Not just a city, not just a state. The entire nation has done this.
As his strongest suit.
Gallup did a poll. 56% of the people said that they're better off now during a pandemic than they were during Obama and Biden. 56%. It was a record number.
Can we go back for 1 second to the pandemic? Because
have you noticed that every time he gives her some statistical data, she says nothing? Just peep that. She don't say shit. I drop you some cold hard facts. In the past, this shit has been going on for 8 months. And in the past month and a half or 2 months, we done brought back 11 million jobs. Well, let's go back to...
you called Dr. Fauci and other health officials idiots.
Where did I call him an idiot?
You called them idiots. I wonder if you
he's
think...
been wrong a lot. I like him, but he's been wrong a lot.
I wonder if...
Now, here's my thing. I personally was on board with Dr. Fauci in the very beginning until I realized and found out that he was on bullshit. Tell me if I'm lying. I was one of the main people saying, hey, man, we need to listen to this motherfucker. This dude is the head of the goddamn thing. We need to make sure we listen to this motherfucker. Do what the fuck he talking about. Until I got some fucking information. I did some research and realized that this motherfucker was doing stupid shit. Like saying, hey, we need to shut down as a country and everybody needs to stay home. Everybody needs to stay indoors. Nobody needs to go out, do anything. Okay, well, for how long? Well, for a while. What? Well, let me ask you this, Fauci. What is the economic fallout from us doing this? Oh, I didn't do any of that research. Oh, I didn't put any plan together for that. What the fuck you mean? So you gonna tell me to shut down my entire economy and you can't tell me for how long? And then you can't tell me what is the fallout from doing that shit? But that's what you recommending? Well, I recommend, listen to me, guys. Here's what I recommend. I recommend that we fire off all of our nuclear warheads just so that we won't have any more. And then that way, since we won't have any more nuclear warheads, then we won't have any more nuclear war. Well, what about when these motherfuckers detonate? What's the fallout from the nuclear warheads hitting these motherfucking places? Oh, I didn't do that research yet. I'm just telling you, we need to, if we want to get rid of, nuclear warheads, we want to get rid of nuclear bombs, we need to just shoot them all. It's like with your fireworks. What do you do when you got a bunch of fireworks? You don't unmake the fireworks, do you? You fire them off, don't you? That's the type of fucking mentality that he had. How the fuck are you the head of this motherfucking team, the head of this motherfucking task force, and your suggestion is just that? Your recommendation is just that. That's what you brought to the whole entire fucking country. You being the man. I don't know what your salary is, but I'm sure it's a fuck ton of money that you're getting. And you're supposed to be the person who's been studying this and been warning and talking about this for the past 10 years, and nobody's listening to you. You would think that you would find a motherfucking opportunity or a point to where you would say, well, let's see what the economy would do if we shut down. What would be the fallout? How long could we sustain our way of life before shit just went all to hell? Before I tell people to shut down this fucking country, I think I should be a little more responsible and just find out some ways to actually make sure that we can do this. Makes no sense. And that was just a couple of things that he did that was dumb as fuck, to where I had to realize, oh, he playing the game. He doing this shit because he gonna sit back in his ivory tower and watch all this shit go to hell and just keep telling people to keep doing what you're doing. Oh, he on the other motherfucker side. That's why he doing this shit. That's why he with this shit. He the one that told everybody we need to wear masks, we need to wash our hands, and we need to social distance indefinitely. The fuck you mean indefinitely? You can't come to the American people and say the word indefinitely. You the expert? You should be paid. You're being paid to know what the fuck we need to do and how long we need to do it. When the fuck do you go to the doctor and the doctor tell you, you need to lose some weight? Well, how much do I need to lose, doc? Indefinite amount. Just keep going. What? Do I need to lose? You can't tell me what I should be. Do I need to lose 10 pounds or do I need to lose 110 pounds? You can't tell me that. How much confidence would you have in a doctor that would tell you some shit like that? Well, what you need to do is take better care of yourself. Okay, doc, what do I need to do? Well, just take better care of yourself. So you can't run no tests. You can't tell me nothing. You just saying this, huh? And that's it. Just saying. And I agree with you, Chris. He's saying, yes, we should have had a pandemic team that this shit would have gotten resolved, but they have a pandemic task force that's been around for the past 9 months. And it seems as though all of these motherfuckers ain't on the same page. Because my thing is this, when you talk about the pandemic task force, when you talk about the WHO, and you talk about the CDC, 3 separate entities, 3 separate organizations. Can't none of these motherfuckers come together on a consensus about anything. They saying we need to wear masks. They come back and say we don't need to wear masks. They say we need to social distance. Then they say we need to do herd immunity. Then they say the masks work. Then they say the masks don't work. Then they tell us to wash our hands. Then they tell us washing your hands. Well, you can wash your hands, but unless you wash your hands for this long, it don't matter. They tell us to use hand sanitizer. We found out the hand sanitizer, if it ain't over 70% alcohol, the shit don't work at all. Then they tell us, hey, what you need to start doing is you need to make sure that when you social distance, that you're not going outside, that you're wearing the mask. Well, when wearing the mask, you keep breathing in carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is bad for you. It's making your face break out. It's making you sicker. It weakens your immune system. Yeah, that is true, but we still need to keep wearing the mask. So you telling me to wear a mask that's going to make me get sicker in hopes that I don't catch some shit that is going to penetrate this here. That's what our task force, that's what our WHO, that's what, I mean, and we was paying the WHO hundreds of millions of dollars. That's what they telling them. So it's like, what are we to do? What do we really pay attention to? What do we really listen to? Here's the thing. Use some of his, and here's what I said I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use some what has been happening before. This is why the past is important. H1N1 is a virus. So is COVID-19. It's a virus. What did we do when H1N1 hit? Same motherfucker that came up here, Dr. Fauci, that told us we got to do all this social distancing, wearing all these masks and all this shit. You know what that motherfucker said when H1N1 hit? When Obama and Biden was in office? That motherfucker told us, cough in your sleeve and wash your hands. That's it. Make sure you're washing your hands. Cough inside your sleeve. That's all that motherfucker said. So how do you go from coughing in your sleeve, or basically dabbing, essentially, do the dab, and wash your hands? How do you go from that to saying we got a social distance, shut the economy down, we can't be around each other 6 feet minimum, COVID is surviving on cardboard, COVID is surviving on metal pipes for 18 days, COVID is in the air, it's the droplets that'll get on you, you don't know if you got it, if you don't, and you get it, and we don't know how long it's going to last in the air, it could be for 10 feet or it could be for 10 days, we don't know what's going on. How do we have all of these different ifs and what could be's and this is how it could happen when it came down to, well, with H1N1, it's now, are they the same exact virus? No, I'm not stupid. They're not the same exact virus. But when you're talking about catching a virus, the transmission of the virus, is COVID-19 more contagious? Yes. But is it possible to not catch it? No. If you're around other people, unless everybody stays in the house forever, that's the only way you ain't gonna get it. You're telling me that you think it's okay as a medical professional to avoid human interaction and human contact indefinitely. As a fucking country, you want 325 million people to stay in house forever. How does that make any sense? So how are you trying to blame this shit on this one motherfucker when the shit makes no sense? It's humanly impossible to do. We cannot do it. Because here's the other part to that. So we can't go to church, but we can go to Walmart. I can't go to the hospital, but I can go to the hardware store. I can't go to I can't go and see my loved one get buried, but we can all go to George Floyd funeral. And ain't nobody saying shit. Ain't nobody asking the question, but wait the fuck a minute. You motherfuckers can get together in Congress and all take a knee wearing kente cloth, but I can't go be with my wife and my son and my daughter. I mean, my wife in the hospital with my son and bring my daughter. How does that happen? How does that shit work? I'm just telling you, there has to be some type of logic that you have to apply to this shit.
If you think that masks don't work.
I feel masks possibly work.
And here's my thing. Masks don't fucking work. And here's where Trump fucked up with that. He should have said the N95 mask work. This shit that we putting on, it does not work. Because it's not a thing of saying, if I wear this, I won't get it. All it is saying, if I wear this, I might not get it in my mouth. Because my eyes are still open. My hands are still touching shit. It's impossible. It's impossible. In case you didn't know, you can have this shit covered up and you can get the shit through your eye. Yeah. For motherfucker cough in your fucking face, cough near you, cough over by you, cough and the shit drifts over, it can go in through your eye. It's called a mucous membrane. You wearing all this shit and then you take it off when you get home or you get in your safe space, and then what happens? Your eye itch and you do this. Your nose is itching and you dig in it. You can still get it. It's not like, oh, if I wear this mask, it'll save us all. If it don't save me, then why the fuck you telling me to put it on? That's just like me telling you this. If you wear a thick leather coat, you can potentially stop a bullet from penetrating. You can stop a bullet. You can stop yourself from getting shot by a bullet. Now, there's some truth to that. You got on a nice, thick, heavy leather coat, and there's enough distance, and a motherfucker shoot something like a 22 at your ass, it might not hit your ass and break through that leather if he far enough away. But what if the motherfucker ain't? Are you gonna take that chance with a fucking leather coat? I ain't gonna put on no vest. I'm gonna put on this leather coat. You talking about a fucking if. a possibility. This shit is just a possibility. If you can put this shit on and smell the fried chicken that's cooking in your fucking house, this shit ain't stopping it. It's not. So my thing would be this. If this ain't stopping it, why do I have to wear it? Just saying. I'm just telling you. Why would you make me wear something that doesn't stop the very thing I'm trying not to catch?
But certainly you want to stay away a certain distance, socially distance, etc. But I would say a mask works, and I have nothing against masks, and I tell people to wear masks. I have no
tell
problem.
me then about these rallies you've been having.
A lot of people are wearing masks,
A
and
lot
they're
of people
outside.
aren't. I'm watching all these people jammed in together, and I'm seeing most of them without masks.
You see that? And here's the thing. Here's my biggest thing with this shit. It's my fucking right as an American to not wear a mask outside. As long as I'm not in your place of business, I should be able to wear it or not. It's up to me. It's my fucking choice. Just like how you don't make me wear a fucking hat when I go outside, you don't get to make me wear a fucking mask. It goes against and it violates my constitutional right. That's why these people are showing up without masks. The people who are there, they know that they're not wearing masks. And they get to come there anyway because it's their fucking right. You do not get to determine what the fuck I have to wear as a fucking American. You don't. And especially some shit that don't work. You're a fucking idiot if you think that wearing this or these people wearing this helps. It doesn't. It's more beneficial to me, not a person who is perfectly healthy. It's more beneficial to me to get COVID and to get through it so that I have the antibodies for it than it is to try to wear a mask to try to avoid from getting it. And if I have comorbidities, if I have a weakened immune system, I don't need to be at a fucking Trump rally. I don't need to be at a fucking Biden rally. I don't even need to be at the burger joint called rallies. I need to have my black ass, white ass, Hispanic ass, Asian ass, old ass, young ass in the fucking house. Period. Nothing else to fucking discuss. If I feel I need to wear this and I feel that this can help me live because I have weakened immune system, because I have comorbidities, I need to stay my motherfucking ass in the house. I know plenty of people that got weakened immune systems. I know plenty of people that have comorbidities. And I tell all them motherfuckers, you need to stay the fucking house till they get the shot, till they get the shot. I'm telling you, bro, mama, homie, sis, stay your ass at home. Don't come out. Don't go to Walmart. Don't go to Albertsons. Don't go to fucking Kroger. Don't go to fucking Jewels. Don't go no fucking where. Stay your ass at home. Plain and simple. And I don't understand why that can't be just the rule to follow. The country should do just that. If you have comorbidities, if you have a weakened immune system, you got diabetes or the sugar, you got high blood pressure, hypertension, you got all this, you're a cancer survivor, you have all this other shit that's wrong with you. You got HIV, whatever the fuck is wrong with you. Stay your ass home. Work from home. If you can't work from home, hey, get your ass on this unemployment, whatever the fuck it is, until we get this goddamn shot. And once we get this fucking shot, you need to be the first motherfucker in line. Well, I don't know if the shot gonna work. You don't know if the shit ain't gonna work. You don't know if it is gonna work. But motherfucker, it's gonna increase your chances of not catching this shit. Get your punk ass in line. You really don't have a choice.
And I'm wondering the message that you're sending with these pictures coming across
Take a look.
television.
Yesterday, we were in Arizona, record-setting rallies, numbers of people like nobody's seen before.
You used to have bigger rallies.
No, these are much bigger than I ever
Okay,
had.
I don't want to bicker over that.
know,
Tell me about
so
the
She said she don't want to bicker about that. You used to have bigger rallies. And I'm just telling you, just listen to these questions that she's asking him, because I want to see if they ask Biden the same type of questions.
Negative. You're so negative. These are the biggest rallies we've ever had.
Exactly, Tony.
You just come in.
She brought it up, and then once he tells her, no, actually, we having bigger rallies. And you know why the rallies are bigger? Because more motherfuckers are pissed off about all this fuck shit, and they really want to get this man back in office for another 4 years. That's why the rallies are bigger. Motherfuckers can't go up out and go outside like they used to, so that's why they want to get this motherfucker back in office. And then once he tells her that, oh, well, I don't want to bicker with you. Well, bitch, you brought it up. Fuck is wrong with you? How you gonna bring some shit up, and then when I speak to it and it's not to your liking, now we bickering? Now you don't want to talk about it anymore. Oh, I just wanted to, let's talk about something else. What do you mean, let's talk about something else? You just asked me a question, I'm answering it, and now you want to stop and talk about something else. Why? Because I'm not giving you the answer that you want? What the fuck kind of interview is this?
In here with that negative attitude. These are the biggest rallies we've ever had.
But I can't
How the fuck you gonna tell this man how big or how small this motherfucker's rallies are, and you ain't got no numbers, bitch? Obviously, you ain't supporting them and you ain't there. And look at how she's just looking up. She's just trying to find shit to actually try to fuck with him about. And my thing is this. If that's what you here to do, fine. Have enough fucking balls or have enough fucking ovaries to fucking say that. Don't try to be a sly, sneaky bitch about it and try to throw in your little jabs. Come and say this.
believe after what happened in the Rose Garden here, after the announcement, with all the people getting sick, that you are not being more strongly encouraging about wearing masks at your rallies.
I tell people to wear
But you
masks.
don't.
Less.
And here's the thing. You want him to do what? What is it that you want him? I want people to wear masks. I want people to wear masks. We want people to wear masks. If you could tell me, hey, look, check this out. If you wear masks, you won't get this shit. If you wear masks, this shit won't come your way. You would be fucking 1,000% correct. Because here's the problem with what she's saying. Here's the problem with what they're saying. You want me to wear something that you can't even, that you not only can't prove that works, but on the opposite, scientists have come back and said it don't work. And you want me to wear it anyway? Why? Why would I want people to drink why would I want people to drink some shit that I know ain't gonna help them? Well, it could. It could help a little bit. Fuck you mean a little bit? What the fuck is a little bit with either I got it or I don't? There is no little bit. You can't catch a little bit of COVID. You can't catch a smidgen of COVID. You can't catch a skosh of COVID. The fuck? Shout out to my boy Joe. You can't catch a small little smidgen of COVID. Oh, I had a touch of it just because I wore my mask, so that's why I only got a little bit. I got COVID 8.5. I got COVID 8.5. I got COVID 10. Well, how'd you get COVID 10? Oh, well, I wore my mask. So it took the other 9 off. It's stupid. Y'all are arguing and bickering, like she said, I don't want to bicker. Then bitch, don't bicker about me telling people to wear some shit that don't work. It makes no sense. Why would I tell the American people to do something that doesn't fucking work? I jokingly told people to drink bleach and motherfuckers lost their mind. Why? Because drinking bleach don't work. So fine, if you taking it seriously and I'm joking about it and you upset that I said, oh, drink some bleach, that'll kill it. And if that pisses you off, you get every right to be pissed off because that shit don't work. And maybe I'm scared. Maybe I don't want to catch it. Maybe I'm high risk. And the fact that you mentioning the shit because I'm trying to find a way not to get it, you gonna jokingly tell me to drink some bleach? Maybe I'm pissed off about it. Fine. He was not joking. What, man, here's my thing, man. What adult or what person knows that you can, or what instance has anyone successfully ingested bleach? You can't even be around fucking chlorine, the raw chemical. You can't even be around this shit. If that shit is in its raw form, that shit will kill your ass in a matter of minutes. You telling me that you think that this motherfucker don't know you can't drink bleach? A grown-ass man, you telling me that you think he actually meant for everybody to go out and start drinking bleach? I can't with you niggas.
We hand out thousands of masks.
But you look out and they're not wearing them. You don't get up there and say, look, you know, come on. I don't want you to get sick.
What's your next question, Leslie? We're out.
I don't want you to get sick. Okay, Leslie, if that was true, if I could state, hey, if you wear masks, you won't get sick, you would be right. But bitch, that's not the truth. And my thing is this, if I'm the president, why would I go and tell somebody to do something that is unconstitutional? And I'm supposed to be the president, and then tell them to wear something that I know doesn't work. That makes me out to be the dumbass, doesn't it?
The rallies are bigger than they've ever been. There's more enthusiasm than we've ever had. There has never been anything like what you're witnessing now, and you'll see that soon.
Okay, I'll ask you another health question, okay? I told you, okay. You promised that there was going to be a new health package, a health care plan.
Yeah.
You said that it was going to be great. You said it's ready, it's going to be ready. It'll be here in 2 weeks. It's going to be like nothing you've ever seen before, and of course we haven't seen it. So why didn't you develop a health plan?
It is developed. It is fully developed. It's going to be announced very soon when we see what happens with Obamacare.
If the Supreme Court ends this Obamacare.
He said the president did not take a vaccine. You're right. Regeneron, hold on, let me go back. The president did not take a vaccine. Regeneron is something different. Matter of fact, let me take this and put this over here. I'm sorry. I apologize. There we go. Now I can see it. Regeneron is something. Wait, where's it at? The president did not take a vaccine. Regeneron is something different that he has promised that will be available for free to whoever needs it. You just made all that up. Just made all what up? Please, J. Lou. I don't understand. Are you talking to somebody else? Is there somebody named Starretta in the chat? I hope so, because I hope he's not talking to me. Starretta, look at her. Oh, you saying it's somebody else. The vaccine Trump took, oh, no, there is no vaccine ready for Trump to take. He did what you call therapy. He took some shit along with a bunch of other shit. Basically, and this is what a lot of motherfuckers have been doing, they essentially have been taking like a vitamin cocktail, essentially. Like vitamin D, zinc, vitamin C, shit like that. So that Regeneron shit, I don't know what the fuck is all in it, but he basically did therapy for it. It's just like if you feel yourself getting sick, how people will take heightened doses of vitamin C, or you will take zinc, shit like that. It was basically something that he was all taking just to do that. In all fairness, a couple of years ago, people set themselves on fire for YouTube fame. I don't understand what you're saying with that, Justin. But let me go ahead and let me finish this so we can get to the other half.
Well, we're gonna have to see what happens. I hope that they end it. It'll be so good if they end it.
And if they end it, people with pre-existing conditions will be stranded.
No.
And that's just a fact.
It's wrong. It's
No.
wrong. A new plan will happen.
But will.
And we won't do anything, will and is. We won't do anything and no plan unless we have pre-existing conditions covered.
With little more than a week till
Now,
the election,
here's my thing.
the president has been
Here's where the politics comes in with this shit. And I'm gonna say this, to why Trump is on bullshit in this aspect. Trump ain't put out this health plan for two reasons. Either the shit ain't altogether ready, which means he been lying, or he didn't want to put the shit out so that they can tear the shit apart and it hinders his fucking campaign. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, a healthcare plan that's supposed to be better than Obamacare and take care of all of us and cure all of our woes and worries, all that shit, it better be fucking Trump tight, essentially, if you will. It better be airtight. And the fact that he ain't put that shit out, I guarantee you that it's not. That shit either is not complete or it's a lot of fucking loopholes and a lot of fucking pitfalls in the shit that could be shredded and could be torn apart. And that's why he didn't drop it right now, because of it being so close in the campaign. I truly believe that. That's some bullshit. You've been talking about this shit for 4 years. And if your ass ain't put it together, then that means it's either your ass got some fuckery going on with it or your lazy ass ain't got the shit done. It's either halfway done or it's some bullshit behind it. There's no reason why you shouldn't have had Trump care, if you want to call it that, put into place to replace Obamacare, and you essentially came in the door tearing down Obamacare. Your ass came in the door writing executive orders to tear down parts of the motherfucking of Trump care. I mean, of Obamacare. So that means you knew that you was coming in to have you some shit to replace it. And if your ass ain't got it together in 4 years, it's one of them two things. That's just what it is. I don't give a fuck what the fuck you trying to say, what you want to say. It's ready. Bullshit. If it was ready, you had it out and it'd have been ready. We'd had it laid out. I ain't talking about, oh, well, we got the plan and here's the plan. It's on this web. It would be laid the fuck out. Just like you got the platinum plan laid out, you'd have had this healthcare plan laid out if you would have had the shit done and if the shit would have been righteous. So I'm telling you this right now. I'm looking at that shit with the side eyes like a motherfucker. I'm telling you.
storming the swing states where the polls are tight, including Florida, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and
even if he needs the House to pass it or whatever the case may be, if the shit is better than Trump, if the shit is better than Obamacare, put it out there and put the onus on the Senate. This bitch Pelosi ain't passing this shit for y'all. I got the plan. This bitch don't like it. Well, why don't she like it? You ask that bitch.
here in Michigan.
Can you characterize your supporters?
Yeah, I think I can. People that love our country more than anything else, and they like to see our country thrive.
But do you think that when you hold rallies and encourage people to say...
I can't remember who it was that said it in the chat earlier, but I'm not sure who it was. Somebody said it. But that bitch doing that look up to the left shit, ain't that a telltale sign of you like lying or you fabricating some shit? When you look up, it's either up to the left or up to the right. That means you're accessing the creative mind, the creative aspect of your mind, and that's how you fabricating lies. I can't remember. I saw that shit in the motherfucking the Negotiator, Samuel Jackson. Is that, I can't remember which way it is. It's either up to the left or up to the right. When you look up, then you're fabricating shit, basically saying you're lying. I can't remember. Somebody tell me if that's true or not.
Lock her up the way you...
I don't encourage them. They say it.
Nah, James, I know for sure it's not looking down is lying and looking up is remembering. No, it's one or the other. When you look one way, you're accessing this certain part of the brain to where you're doing your recall, which is on one side of the brain. When you look the other way, you're accessing the creative cortex, which means that you're actually fabricating. You're thinking up different ways to say some shit or to come up with some shit. So that's where your lies are where you weave your lies at. It's something like that. I can't remember, but look it up. But I know it ain't down, but it's something like that. It's back and to the left. Is that what it is? I see a lot of people saying it. Or up and to the left. Yeah, right. I think that's what it is. It's one of those, but I don't trust the motherfucker that's doing this shit. It's like when I remember something, I'll say, I'll usually do that, and that's up and to the right. I'd be like, I think I did do that. But if I'm gonna tell a lie to a motherfucker, be like, hey, nigga, I was the motherfucking third gunman on the grassy knoll or whatever. I don't know, but it's one of those ways. It's weird.
And you
Hillary
enjoy it.
Clinton,
You
let
don't
me
say
just
don't do
Hillary
that.
Clinton she deleted 33,000 emails after she got a subpoena from the United States Congress.
But why is this still an issue? Why do
I
people,
think
they're not going to vote on that.
33,000 emails. Do you see how she just overlooked that? And that's my thing. It's like I am so, my biggest problem with all of these news outlets, there is no journalistic integrity anymore. A motherfucker can come with some clear, cold, hard facts, and motherfuckers will just say, fuck all that. Let's talk about this shit here. See how smelly and runny it is? This is what we should focus on. That's shit in your hand. What about this concrete fucking edifice that is standing there before you, pointing out some clear fuck shit? You won't even comment on that? Oh, let's not talk about that. If a motherfucking, the Secretary of Defense, not Secretary, was she the Secretary of Defense? Is that what that bitch position was that Obama gave her? This bitch deleted 33,000 emails. Who the fuck does that? The Secretary of State. The bitch deleted 33,000 emails and then told a motherfucker, I don't know what a server is. I don't even know, y'all. What's a server? I don't know. I got this hot sauce in my purse though. The fuck out of here.
An issue.
She ran last time.
Excuse me, when they say lock up, it's not me. And they like to see our country thrive.
But do you think that when you hold rallies and encourage people to say lock her up the way you...
I don't encourage them. They say it.
And you
Hillary
enjoy
Clinton,
it. You
let
don't
me
say
just
don't do
Hillary
that.
Clinton.
And now, ain't these the same motherfuckers that actually tried to impeach this man? Saying that what he did, he committed treason? Ain't this the same motherfucking country that wanted to actually motherfucking impeach this dude? So how is it that y'all care about the president committing treason, potentially, spending $40+ million trying to find these treasonous events or these treasonous acts that he committed when the actual FBI come back and said, nah, he didn't do it? How do you find that to be so important to where you put the entire fucking country on hold and you spend millions of dollars to actually find out if he did it or not, when you can clearly see that this bitch deleted 33,000 government official fucking emails? Who the fuck does that? I tell you who. A bitch who's trying to cover up some fuck shit that she did that was probably treasonous offenses. Just saying. But we don't care about that? Let me stop, because these motherfuckers that talk about the Clintons, they wind up dead. Let me shut the fuck up. And
Deleted. She deleted
Talk about
33,000
something else.
emails after she got a subpoena from the United States Congress.
But why is this still an issue? Why do
I think
people,
it's an
they're
issue.
not going to vote
To
on
me,
that.
it's an issue.
She ran last time.
Excuse me, when they say lock up, it's not me. They say it.
You
it ends up
encourage
being
it.
Now, here's the thing. If he was the one saying it, wouldn't you think 60 Minutes would show a clip like they did before of the other clips of people not wearing masks at his rallies? Wouldn't they show a clip of him saying that? If she's going to accuse him of saying he's the one that's saying lock her up, you know the question already, bitch. Wouldn't you have the footage that shows him actually doing that? Just saying. If I'm gonna say, yeah, this motherfucker be saying this shit, let's show the footage of him saying it, so when he do say he don't say it, we can show him the footage that he did say it. Wouldn't that be the thing to do? But you know why you don't show the footage of it? Because it ain't none.
don't encourage it.
Yes, you
no,
do.
if I mention her name about something, they go crazy.
Well, what about the governor of Michigan?
Governor Gretchen Whitmer was the target of a kidnapping plot by an armed militia group.
Don't that sound like it was about 50,000 motherfuckers coming to get this motherfucker? An armed militia group. Y'all do know a militia could be 3 motherfuckers, don't you? Just saying. And the motherfuckers who was trying to plot against her ass had just cause because their fucking constitutional rights were being violated. Here's how I can say factually, the Supreme Court ruled that this bitch trying to make everybody fucking wear masks and all of the social distancing and shit like that, they threw her shit out of the Supreme Court in Michigan saying, nah, bitch, what you doing is unconstitutional. You can't do it. Get the fuck out of our face. They straight called bullshit. That's exactly what they told her. So the fact that a militia was trying to say this bitch is fucking us out of our fucking rights, this bitch is violating our constitutional rights, they were actually correct in doing so. Now they was trying to go about the shit the wrong way, but the other part of it is everybody and their mama know that any governor in any state always has an armed security detail. State police surround these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers wasn't gonna be able to kidnap this bitch and hold her for ransom. Are you serious? Say nothing but some redneck white boys who probably on meth and on beer, thinking they gonna do some shit and wasn't gonna do a goddamn thing. That shit, there was no evidence these motherfuckers actually, yeah, we had the plans, we was going to do it on Tuesday, but the FBI came. That's bullshit. Just like the people who threaten the president every day. Plenty of people that do it. How many people have actually done it? Don't ask Ronald Reagan that, but anybody else.
It was our Justice Department that is the one that's helping her.
Yes.
My Justice Department, if you call it that.
The FBI.
It was our Justice Department that's helping her. And, you know, people they're not liking her so much because she's got everybody locked down.
You got to get your governor to open up your state, okay?
Exactly. Now show me the crowd of motherfuckers that want the state closed in Michigan. I'll wait.
Lock them all up.
You are very powerful, and the people who love you with passion. And if you go after somebody the way you've been going after her, they take it to heart, and then there are plots and threats, and the same with Dr.
Plots and threats.
I've helped her. It was
You
our
did go after
Justice
her.
Department
You
that's
criticized
helping
her.
Oh, I do.
Hell motherfucking yeah, I'ma criticize a bitch that's motherfucking campaigning against me. What the fuck kind of question is that? Why the fuck wouldn't I criticize a fucking governor of a state that is actually campaigning against me? You out your fucking mind?
You criticize her, yeah.
Well, that's
I think
going
the way
after
she
her.
locked down.
That's not going after her. Criticizing and going after somebody are two different things. Criticizing means, hey, I see what the fuck you did and I don't like it. Hey, this is what the fuck you said and I'm saying this to you. This is what the fuck you talking about. This is what the fuck I'm talking about. That's critiquing a motherfucker, which he has every right to do, just like everybody else in the free world. Why the fuck shouldn't he criticize a bitch that's going against everything that he motherfucking stands for? Fuck you mean? She is. She just know it's not that she just wants people to wear masks. Dude, let me tell you something. All these motherfuckers that are shutting down their states, shutting down their fucking cities, they are destroying the economy because they want to say, see what happened when Trump was the president? We didn't get all this stuff lost. We don't have no more jobs. We get all these people out of work. And can't nobody do nothing because we shut down because of COVID, which is Trump's fault. That's what they're doing. He's told all of these motherfuckers, hey, y'all, for the sake of the country, not your own fucking political gain, you assholes. For the sake of the country, we need to open this shit up. Why the fuck can't you open up and wear masks? Masks work, don't they? Now let me reverse. Let me do bang, 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 bang. Let me put some Clarence motherfucking Witherspoon on your ass. Why can't you reverse that? If this is what we need people to wear, we should all open the fuck up and wear these. Based on the logic of you motherfuckers that's saying we gotta wear these, open up and wear it. Open up and wear it. Reverse the shit. Same thing, right? No, it's bullshit. They playing games and making motherfuckers do stupid shit and making people be afraid to fucking go outside and to go places because they're selling you fucking fear and they're force feeding you fear and you eating it up.
Michigan is a disgrace.
But
The
when
way
you-
she closed churches in Michigan is a disgrace. I think it's disgraceful what she's done. I do.
Here, Nisha said here in Michigan, we couldn't even buy paint during the lockdown. But I can go to fucking Myers. I can go to fucking Walmart. I can go to fucking Target. I can go to the fucking gas station. I can go everywhere, but can't go buy fucking paint? How fucking stupid is that? It makes no sense, dude.
You want to lock
And
her
by
up?
the way, that's other. Of course, I don't want to lock her up. Why would I lock her up?
Because you were in front of a rally of people saying it, encouraging it.
Leslie, it's such a vicious thing you just said. I never said lock up the governor of Michigan. I would never say that.
Do you take any responsibility?
Now that motherfucker did say lock them all up. He did say that shit. And my thing is this. If you are sitting here doing all of this fuck shit and you fucking up the economy and you are fucking up these people's lives, see, y'all don't realize, man, all this fucking policy and all this fucking these rules and shit like that, this shit is affecting if people fucking eat. And talking about the government gonna take care of us, the government gonna pay for all this. Well, what happens when the government say we ain't paying no more? But your job's been shut down for 18 months. The company you used to work for is now gone. What do you do when they tell you, yeah, that $1,000 we was giving your ass every month, well, now it's gonna be $200. Well, what am I supposed to do? I don't know, but this is all we got. This is all we got.
Responsibility for the country being divided against itself? Do you feel that?
I'd like not to, but, you know, perhaps everybody has to take a little
Shout out to my
responsibility.
man
for
Bolo,
it.
hit me on the cash app.
But when
with the
people put out
$5.
phony
Thanks,
witch
brother.
hunts, you know, when they spy on your campaign, you have to fight back. And if you don't fight back, you're not sitting here very long. You go back home. You go back home to mommy.
The president's accusations against the Biden family, the abrupt end of our conversation, and Vice President Mike Pence's assessment of what happened when we return.
And I'm to your point, Jihad, saying he is a child.
As we move from
He is a child. I agree with you. But the thing is, he's a child amongst other children. They're all children. They're all acting like children. Do you realize that the people could have had a second stimulus package had Nancy Pelosi and her fucking cohorts signed the shit? But they're not, because they intentionally want the country to suffer, and they want people to suffer because they are you caught that bang. Yeah, my man DLT 2K7. They are intentionally holding back on the stimulus package because they want it to be bad, so that people will be desperate and people will be in despair and will vote the other way. Now, how childish is that? I'm going to sit back, keep making money, because y'all do realize that while all this shit is going on, all of these political officials are steadily getting their check every 2 weeks. I mean, on the 1st and the 15th. They all getting paid. Direct deposits is dropping like a motherfucker for these assholes making hundreds of thousands of dollars yearly. So when you talk about all this shit, he acts like a kid. They all do. And this bitch is holding it up because they don't want to give her what she wants. That bitch on that last stimulus package, they got like $600 billion for the arts. What the fuck does $600 billion got to do with COVID for the arts? But we okay with that. Because we on this anything but Trump train.
Subject to subject,
Stupid.
our conversation grew more tense. President Trump brought up what he calls the unfairness of the fake media, most prominently, a lack of coverage of his unproven and unverified charges that former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter have received millions of dollars in corrupt payments from a Russian oligarch and a Chinese billionaire.
Now y'all hear that, right? So they know about this shit. Let's see if he get asked about it.
The story will continue.
Hey, Fernando Salgado, gone with that stupid shit, man. Take your motherfucking Fernando Salgado ass the fuck on somewhere else. Get your own channel and write tits in the comment section all you want, sir. Fuck out of here. Thank you, moderators.
Continue in a moment.
I wish you would interview Joe Biden like you interview me. It would be so good. You know what?
You like this, I thought. I thought you liked
don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Look at this. Look, who the fuck likes that? That's the same type of shit bitches say when a motherfucker say, you like when I be a bitch. You like when I act crazy. No, the fuck I don't. The fuck is wrong with you? Bitch, do you really think I have enough time in me running for president, trying to get in office for a second term? Do you really honestly think that I am relishing in the fact that I get to sit here with you while you fucking tell lies about me and my fucking campaign? Are you serious? That's what I like? No, bitch. You're just being a bitch and you're trying to find a way to justify you being a bitch by trying to put it back on me. That ain't how this works.
But when I watch him walk out of a store and he's walking with an ice cream, and the question the media asks him, what kind of ice cream, what flavor ice cream do you have? And he's in the midst of a scandal.
He's not.
And he's taking,
He's
of course
not.
he is,
No,
Leslie.
come on.
Of course he is.
Do you hear that? She just said he's not. He's not in the midst of a scandal. Are you out of your fucking mind? If this was Barron Trump, if this was Donald Trump Jr., if this was any of them, they would have this motherfucker on a spit roasting his motherfucking ass about some fuck shit like this that people are saying his motherfucking son has done and what his son has been a part of and the fact that he's implicated in his fucking son's dealings. If your son is going across, how much fucking pull does Hunter Biden have without Joe? I'll wait. All this, that ain't got nothing to do with Joe. That's what Hunter did. How much fucking pull would Hunter Biden have with Russia and with China if his daddy wasn't involved? Are you fucking kidding me? Do you honestly want to sit and try to tell me, and this bitch, this is what I mean, pointing back to that whole journalistic integrity type of shit. Bitch, now you gonna play stupid and actually try to vindicate this motherfucker to say he ain't got nothing to do with his fucking sons dealing in 2 fucking foreign countries? Get the fuck out of here, you lying ass bitch.
It's the biggest, second biggest scandal.
So-
the biggest scandal. I wish you would interview Joe Biden like you interview me. It would be so good. You know what?
You like this, I thought. I thought you
I don't
liked
mind it. I don't mind it. But when I watch him walk out of a store and he's walking with an ice cream, and the question the media asks him, what kind of ice cream, what flavor ice cream do you have?
Exactly.
And he's in the midst of a scandal.
He's not.
And he's taking,
He's
Of course
not.
he is,
no.
Leslie.
Come on.
Of course he is. It's the biggest,
Come on,
second biggest
he
scandal.
is
The
not.
biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign.
Yeah.
They spied on my
Well,
campaign,
there's no
Leslie.
real evidence of that.
Of course there is.
No.
It's all over the place. Leslie, they
Sir,
spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? You know, this is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't
No,
verify.
you won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't
Look, let me
put
tell
on
you.
things we can't verify.
Leslie, they
And-
spied on my campaign.
Well, we can't verify
It's been
that.
totally verified.
No.
It's been, just go down and get the
Wow.
papers. They spied on my campaign, they got caught.
No.
And then they went much
No.
further than that, and they got caught. And you will see that, Leslie, and you know that, but you just don't want to put it
No.
on the air.
As a matter of fact, I don't know that.
Okay.
And you're out
So
there.
why don't you get back to your interview and let's go?
Do you think that your tweets and your name calling
Shout out
are
to a
turning
man,
people
Corey.
off?
Hit your boy off
No,
with
I think
$5
I wouldn't be here if I
Watching
didn't
from my
have
fire
social media.
station.
But
You
the
told-
media is
Thank you,
fake.
man.
And
And salute to you.
frankly,
Thanks for
if
your
I didn't
service.
have social media, I'd have no way of getting out my voice.
Do you know what you
And that's
told
true
me
as shit
a long
right
time
there.
ago when I asked why you keep saying fake media?
Yeah.
You said to me, I say that because I need to discredit you so that when you say negative things about me, no one will believe
I don't
you.
have to discredit you.
But that's what you
You've
told me.
discredited yourself.
You know, I didn't want to have this kind of angry.
course you did.
No, I didn't.
Of course you
Yes,
did.
No,
you
I
did.
didn't.
Then you brought up a lot of subjects that
Well, I said
were
I'm going to ask you
inappropriately brought
tough
up.
questions.
They were inappropriately
But-
brought up right from the beginning.
You
No,
started
your first
the shit
question
off.
was, this is going to be tough questions.
Right.
You don't ask Joe Biden. I saw your interview with Joe, the interview with
I
Joe
never
Biden.
did a
Do you see how she just tried to like totally deny that shit? Like you
totally
came
deny
here
that shit?
kicking off this bullshit. You came here with, hey, you know what? You can get Rudra the fuck up out of here. Bye-bye. How the fuck do you just try to act like that shit just didn't happen? Like, oh no, I didn't. You started out with saying, I hope you're ready for some really tough questions. Come on, bitch. At least be honest in your fuckery.
Joe
It
Biden
was a
interview.
joke. The interview, 60 Minutes. I see Joe Biden giving softball after softball. I've seen all of his interviews. He's never been asked a question that's hard.
Okay, but forget him for a minute.
but you
You're
start with
president,
me.
You're president, and
Excuse me, Leslie, you started with me. Your first statement was, are you ready for tough questions?
are you?
That's no way to talk. It's no way to talk.
And he got a fucking point.
At this point, one of our producers interrupted to advise about the time remaining in the interview.
I think we have enough of an interview here, Hope. Okay, that's enough. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go meet for 2 seconds, okay? Thanks. I'll see you in a little while. Thanks.
Be careful. We
Being a
were
bitch.
scheduled to take a walk with the president around the White House grounds. I've got a lot of questions I didn't ask.
Look
While
at
we
her.
waited to see if the president
got a
was
lot of
coming back,
questions I didn't
his
ask.
press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, came in with a hand
Absolutely,
delivery.
she's being a
President,
condescending
the president wanted
bitch.
me to deliver his healthcare plan. It's a little heavy.
Oh my God, this is his health care plan.
Yes.
Okay, Kayleigh.
Now he hit your ass with that motherfucking War and Peace fucking edition of that healthcare plan. Look at that big ass motherfucking book.
Kayleigh, thank you.
You're welcome, and the vice president will be with you shortly.
Okay. And the president's not coming back?
The president's giving you a lot of time.
It was heavy, filled with
look at this.
executive orders, congressional
can't lift
initiatives,
it.
but no comprehensive health plan.
How the fuck do you know that shit, bitch? And here's my thing. It could be that way, but I know good goddamn well, bitch, you ain't read through that shit. I'd have did that shit too. Here, bitch. Carry this fucking albatross of a fucking healthcare plan around your neck till you die. Like in the Man in the Iron Mask. You will wear it and you will love it. And then die in it. That bitch ain't read all that shit. She'd probably still be reading it right now. And this interview was like 5 days ago. That's fucking ridiculous. Ain't no fucking way you can read through all that shit. It's a comprehensive plan and it had nothing of comprehensive health. Bitch, you don't know what was in it. He probably don't even know what the fuck is in it. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm kicking straight facts. He probably couldn't tell you what the fuck is in that goddamn plan.
Hello, Leslie.
Mr. Vice President.
Oh,
While our
man.
interview with the president did
Hey,
not
while
go
y'all in here,
forward,
click that like
the one
button, man, and
scheduled
click that
with the
subscribe
vice
button,
president did.
and click the
So what just
the
happened?
thumbs up for me, man. Click that PayPal
With the
as
president.
well.
Leslie, President Trump is a man who speaks his mind. I think it's one of the Trump is a man.
Filled with executive orders,
man.
congressional
can't lift
initiatives,
it.
but no
Happy
comprehensive
birthday,
health
Lorenzo.
plan.
I didn't even see you, brother. Happy birthday to you,
Hello,
man.
Leslie.
Mr. Vice President.
While our interview with the president did not go forward,
Now I'm gonna tell you something about I like Pence, but I'm side-eyeing Mike Pence because I don't know shit about him, and that makes me nervous. I don't know what kind of motherfucker he really is, but I can tell you this: I like the fact that he don't give a fuck and say what the fuck is on his mind. Shout out to my man Justin Lofton, hit your boy off with a book. I appreciate it. He say what's on his mind. And he don't hold no punches with none of these motherfuckers. And I do like that. But I don't know what the fuck his agenda is and what the fuck he really on. And that scares me. I'm just saying. That shit scares me.
Thank you very
the
much.
one scheduled with the vice president did.
So what just happened with the president?
Leslie, President Trump is a man who speaks his mind. I think it's one of the great strengths that he's had
But he walked
as President
out.
of the United States, is that the American people always know where they stand.
I'll buy
And
that.
he's always ready. And the American people know that in this time, it's less about the back and forth with the media, and it's really more about how we bring this country all the way back.
We then asked the vice president to put on his hat as the head of the White House Coronavirus Task Force.
Dr. Fauci, you know the president said that he's a disaster, and he and the other public health officials around him are idiots. Do you care to comment on that?
The scientists who've worked around the White House Coronavirus Task Force, who will meet again today here at the White House, have provided a great public service. They
So
brought
not
the
idiots.
perspective of scientists all along the way. And I have a strong relationship with Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx. But remember, the President of the United States has to consider the
Let me
whole
check. It look
of
great. It look
America.
great.
The
Oh, Ella
President's
Dre
been
hit me up with
balancing
$5.
the
Thank
broad
you, man. I
interests of
saw
the
that.
country,
My man Bolo
and
hit
the
me up
health
with
of the American
$5.
people, and we'll continue
I
to do
counted
that
Justin
every
Law
day.
hit me with
So
a buck.
let's say
my man Michelle
there's a
Colbert hit
mother
me up
out
with
there,
a buck. That's what's
let's
up.
say in a hot spot in Wisconsin.
And also
she's
Jesse
wondering
Huff
whether
hit me up
she
with
should
30
send her
bucks. My
children to
man, thank
school.
you. Appreciate you.
Now, what's your advice?
Leslie, we got to get our kids back in school. And I would say to that mother or any mother that we're going to continue to work our hearts out.
And here's the thing. Calling the doctors idiots is one thing, and I get that. But you can't tell me, in all honesty and in all fairness, that these motherfucking doctors have been on point. Nobody can. Nobody can say that. And my thing is this. When you're talking about a fucking doctor being a person that's saying one thing and then come back and say something else, then say something else, then say something else, a doctor is paid to be consistent and to be an actual expert in his or her field. Plain and simple. I'm not going to take my car to a fucking Cadillac dealership and then have them give me a bunch of what ifs or tell me it's something wrong with this. And then once I look back, then they say it's something wrong with that. And then I tell you this and there's something wrong. No, fuck that. You might be able to misdiagnose once, but if you constantly misdiagnosing my fucking vehicle and it's at your fucking place of fucking business and it's at the place that makes my fucking car, I'm not tolerating that shit. I'm going to call you motherfuckers at the very least incompetent. And a motherfucker can't tell me you go back and look at all of the shit that this fucking task force has done and look at all of the shit that these doctors and Fauci have said. You can't tell me that shit that they've not shown any incompetence. You cannot tell me that. And that's just being fair. You got doctors coming out saying Fauci full of shit. And that takes us back to what? The internet censoring other motherfuckers' freedom of speech. Professional fucking certified, not one doctor, team of doctors. Y'all remember that video I did that got fucking shut down, that got taken off the fucking internet? A group of motherfuckers. Nope. Telling you straight up. Fauci ain't practiced like a motherfucker just said in 30 years. This motherfucker, I'm in the hospital. I'm treating these motherfuckers. Me and this team of doctors behind me, we're treating these motherfuckers, and here's what's working. Nope, can't put that out there. That's fake. What? Fuck you mean?
Make sure that those schools have the testing, have the PPE, have the supplies they need to get our kids back where they belong, safe and sound in the classroom.
So are you saying she should send the kids back? Should the kids wear masks?
I think they should adhere to whatever criteria the school administrators and local health officials determine to be appropriate.
And that is the best answer that anybody could have given. This is my thing. If you and your school vote to say, hey, we think everybody should stay home, fine. If another school district votes and say, hey, we think everybody should come back, fine. If another school district votes and says we should 50-50, everybody should have a choice. Either you can virtual or you can come in. Why can't it be that way? Why the fuck are you trying to control what the fuck I do? Why don't I have a choice to say, hey, in our state, we're going to open up. In our state, we're going to shut down. Fine, if that's what the fuck y'all want to do. But when you have a multitude of the people telling you we want this, why the fuck does one person, i.e. governor, get to just tell everybody what the fuck is happening and they can't contest it? Why the fuck isn't the governor listening to the people and giving the people what they want? I tell you why. Because a motherfucking governor that's doing that has a hidden agenda and it's self-serving for their own fucking purpose. That's it. Ain't no, oh, well, they don't know and they viewing it a different way. If I'm one motherfucker that's in charge of 100,000 motherfuckers and I got 70,000 motherfuckers telling me that we want to do shit this way, motherfucker, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it the way the 70,000 motherfuckers want to do it.
Really, again, I want to say the American Academy of Pediatricians made it clear early on that distance learning, this online learning, is no substitute for being in the classroom.
Exactly.
What about Thanksgiving? Should people feel safe to get together with their family, with their grandparents, with their aunts and uncles?
Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays.
Me too.
And I'm looking forward to it with our family.
With extended?
I think that's a decision every American family can make.
And I'm telling you, man, this motherfucker, he knows what the fuck to say. If I can't say shit else about Pence, he know what to say. This motherfucker, yes, he is a seasoned politician. He make me feel good about the shit. He said, like, yeah, that's right, man. We should be able to decide. I like this nigga.
On the circumstances in their community, the vulnerability of particular family members. You know, one of the things we apprehended early on is that seniors, particularly those with serious underlying health conditions, are the most at risk for a serious outcome if they contract the coronavirus. And so families may make a decision that certain elderly family members might take a pass. But I think the difference between President Trump and me and some of the public voices in this debate over the last year has been we trust the American people.
Nora O'Donnell
and that's it. All these motherfuckers is saying, let the people decide what they want to do. Because when H1N1 swine flu was around, didn't nobody force me to wear a mask. Hell, didn't nobody even force me to wash my fucking hands. I was able to come and go as I pleased. I was able to get together for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, whatever the fuck it was. Why is it that now the government is telling me what the fuck to do? If I want to go out in a fucking crowd of people who have COVID, if I want to go to a COVID party, it's my fucking right as an American. That's what this United States of America is all about. Let me do what the fuck I want to do. I don't understand why these motherfuckers think we got to tell them what to do, y'all. We can't let them go out here and do this shit the way they want to do it. No. We got to tell them what to do. We can't let them go out here and decide on their own. No way, no how. We got to go out here and show these motherfuckers what to do because they don't know no better. Leave me the fuck alone and let me live my fucking life. Hey. I'm making my own paper. Let me live my life. Hey. I'm just saying, let these motherfuckers make the decision themselves. Give me the information and then get the fuck out my face. That's it.
With former Vice President Joe Biden and his running mate, Senator Kamala Harris, when we come back.
Yeah, buddy. Now let's watch this shit. Now y'all saw how that shit went down with motherfucking Trump, right? You saw how it started and you saw how it ended. Grand opening, grand closing. Now, watch and see what happens here with this next interview. Here go the clock ticking. Tick, 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 tick.
When we spoke with Joe Biden this past week in Wilmington, Delaware, the former...
First of all, the thing that I see that's fucked up, ain't no old decrepit bitch sitting here getting ready to interview these two motherfuckers. You at least got a fairly middle-aged woman interviewing them. Why they get a middle-aged person, but Trump get the old crypt keeper bitch?
Former vice president was ahead in the polls, but confronting a withering final assault from President Trump. As the presidential campaign enters its final full week, we also had questions for his running mate, California Senator Kamala Harris. In our conversation, Joe Biden discussed how much he'd be influenced by progressives within his own party, whether his proposed tax increases would hurt the economy, and how he views the current state of the race.
The story will continue in a moment.
With less than 2 weeks to go before Election Day, you have held a steady lead in the national and state polls. But so did Hillary Clinton 4 years ago. Could Donald Trump still win this?
How come this bitch didn't start out with, are you ready for some tough questions? Can anybody help me with that? How come that wasn't the kick off of this being, I hope you're ready for some really tough questions, Joe? Ain't that some shit? Pulled up in the C-A-D-I-double-L bumping AC. Whatever.
Sure. I'm one of those folks, competitors, it's not over till the bell rings. And I feel superstitious when I predict anything other than it's going to be a hard fight. We feel good about where we are, but, you know, I don't underestimate how he plays.
What do you mean you don't underestimate how he plays?
Well, you know, there's an awful lot of talk out there about that trying to sort of delegitimize the election. All, I think, designed to make people wonder whether or not they should, whether it's worth going to vote.
Yeah,
just the intimidation factor. But what really has pleased me is the overwhelming turnout in the states that have early voting.
Do you think there are a lot of people who are going to vote for you simply because you're not Donald Trump?
Well, I hope there's going to be a lot of people vote for him because of who I am, but I think the contrast between Donald Trump and me is about as stark as it can get in terms of our value set and how we view the world.
I was listening to one of your podcasts, and you said we need some revolutionary institutional changes. Like what?
Well, for example, I think we have to fundamentally change the way in which we deal with institutional racism. For example.
Now, have you noticed that the questions she's asked, not a single one of them has been a question critiquing anything he's ever done? We talking about a motherfucker who's been in office for over 47 years. Not a single question yet about any of his past motherfucking political career, any of his past faux pas, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Everything has been about his campaign and his running right now. Now, y'all motherfuckers that are the good old Biden voters in the comment section, all of y'all anti-Trump motherfuckers, can y'all tell me if this is some bullshit or not? We 3 questions in, and this bitch ain't asked shit about any of his dealings, anything that he's done right or wrong or indifferent. It's all about, let's put your platform out, Joe.
One of the hardest things is beyond police issues. There's the issue of accumulation of wealth. There's an awful lot of black Americans who are equally they're as qualified as white Americans based on the same status they're in terms of their economic opportunity, but they don't get a chance. So, for example, if we just made every corporation pay a minimum 15% tax, you got 91 pay no tax. That raises over $400 billion. I can send every single qualified person to a 4-year college in their state for $150 billion. I can make sure every...
Did you hear that shit?
Every person qualifies community college can go, and we still have a lot of money left over. That's what I mean by significant institutional changes.
The nonpartisan...
This motherfucker said I can send everybody to college with $150 billion. How, Sway? In my Kanye West voice? Did y'all just hear that shit? And this bitch ain't better than I. She's sitting there like, yeah, Joe, you sure can send us all to college for $150 billion, and all you doing is taxing 15%, and you gonna raise $400 billion and send all us niggas and all us poor folk to college. That's not even fucking remotely possible. Get the fuck out of here with that line. That's a fucking flat out fucking lie.
Tax Policy Center and others have questioned whether Joe Biden's corporate minimum tax plan would raise as much money as he estimates. After our interview, Mr. Biden's staff told us he misspoke and that the cost of free public college could be twice as much as he said.
You hear that shit? There you go. There you go. There you go. They saying twice as much. And I'm going to go even further and say it's going to be more than that. Here's why I'm saying it's going to be more than that. You don't know what the fuck classes I'm going to take. You don't know what the fuck classes I'm going to pass or fail. And you don't know how fucking much the classes are going to cost. You know why? Because colleges are in charge of their tuition costs, not the government. So a motherfucker that's going to Olive Harvey Community College and a motherfucker who's going to the University of Chicago, 2 different fucking institutions, 2 different fucking levels of education, which would mean what? 2 different levels of fucking tuition and cost. And then my other thing is, well, you paying for me to go to school. Are you paying for room and board? Am I staying on campus, off campus? What the fuck are you really paying for? This is what I'm telling you. I'm not saying that paying for that free college, it wouldn't be a good thing. But the reality of free college, who's really paying for that? Who's really paying for that? Come on, man. As he always says, come on, man. I'm not that kind of guy. You're not that kind of president. We're not that kind of country. Come on, man. It's like, be realistic. Here's something, and I'm just saying in all fairness, I'm trying my best to be fair on this thing. If the government said, look, we're gonna take over a college, or we're gonna buy a college in every motherfucking city or every motherfucking state or some shit like that, and saying, hey, one of the state colleges are gonna be government funded and government motherfucking whatever, and there's only gonna be so many that can get in every year to go to this school, and you can't have this amount of income or some shit like that. If it's low income colleging, possibly something like that could work. Or to say, we promise to give every motherfucker a free associates. Possibly something like that could work. But it would take the taxes of both the federal and state government to actually fund some shit like that. And you are still talking about a boatload of fucking money. But these motherfuckers just making free college for everybody. Get the fuck out of here. The fact that you just said that shit is like, come on, man. It's bullshit. And they just let him go on with that shit. We later talked to Joe's staff. How come this bitch didn't call Joe out? Joe, that's not true. Joe, that's not true. I don't want to bicker, Joe, but what you just said is not true. How come she didn't give him none of that? The fuck did CNC, did fucking 60 Minutes play good cop, bad cop in this motherfucker?
The president made the case at the Republican convention that your administration would be a Trojan horse for liberals, that AOC, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren would actually be controlling policy, that this would become the most liberal administration in U.S. history.
He'd love to run against them, wouldn't he? Mr. President, you're running against Joe Biden. Joe Biden has a deep, steep, and successful record over a long, long time.
Did he answer the question? Did he answer the fucking question? You're not running against them. You're running against Joe Biden. You see how fucking old his fingers are? His fingers can't even point like this no more. And we trying to vote for this motherfucker? Are you kidding me? You're running against Joe Biden, who has a deep and steep track record. That's who you're voting for. That's who you're running against. Me, Joe Biden. Joe Biden, who don't know where the fuck he be at. Joe Biden, who don't know what the fuck he be talking about. Joe Biden, who think he a fucking senator still running. Joe Biden, who think that his motherfucking, thinking that he still live in fucking Scranton. Joe Biden, who can't complete a motherfucking paragraph. He can't complete more than 3 sentences without stuttering or stammering. I'm just telling you. Go back and look at the footage. This motherfucker will not talk past 3 complete thoughts. He won't. He'll say some sideways shit or he'll stutter or stammer. He can't do it. He has fucking dementia. And these motherfuckers are propping him up like he's at fucking, like his weekend at Bernie is weekend at Biden's. That's what they're doing. They are literally propping up a corpse and running around with it saying, hey, here's your president, y'all. That's exactly what they're doing. But that motherfucker didn't answer that question, though, did he?
But Joe Biden's running mate's record is less widely known. Kamala Harris, as he said.
Let's do it again.
The president made the case that the Republican.
Now, why the fuck didn't she not go back and like hold him to the fire this shit? Because they actually did a cutaway, which is what they doing in his interview. They doing a cutaway and changing the subject. But when you sitting with Trump, it's ugly bitch and Trump one-on-one, both one shot, showing this motherfucker here, and we talking back and forth. Ain't no breaks, ain't no motherfucking discourse unless you gonna try to show that I'm doing some shit that I just said I didn't do. Or you're leading into a question that you about to ask me about. Let's ask him about masks. First, we gonna show the people meeting at his rally with no mask. Yeah, so tell us about people not wearing masks. Don't you think that you're responsible for that? You're talking against that? Joe, let's see what happens when you ask Joe a question.
In convention that your administration would be a Trojan horse for liberals, that AOC, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren would actually be controlling policy, that this would become the most liberal administration in U.S. history.
He'd love to run against them, wouldn't he?
He'd love to run against them, wouldn't he? That ain't what the fuck she asked you, dude.
Mr. President, you're running against Joe Biden.
And look at how they cut in and put the cutaway to his face and gave him the close-up. Tell me this ain't no bullshit.
Biden. Joe Biden has a deep, steep, and successful record over a long, long time.
But Joe Biden's running mate's record.
Joe Biden ain't Batman and Kamala Harris is the Joker. Joe motherfucking Biden is the goddamn Riddler and Kamala Harris is the fucking Penguin. That's who the fuck these two people are.
Is less widely known. Kamala Harris has represented California in the U.S. Senate for almost.
So that's motherfucking straight up one question. He just got to fucking skate. He just skated on that. Fuck it.
Almost 4 years. You're very different in the policies that you've supported in the past.
Look at that bitch. Now she do got a Joker-like smile.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage. But
yeah, well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator You supported the Green New Deal. You supported Medicare for all. You've supported legalizing marijuana.
You also supported with fucking a married man for about 20 years.
Joe Biden doesn't support those things. So are you?
You also supported you lying about how you listened to Snoop and Biggie when you was in college and they wasn't even fucking adults when you were in college?
Going to bring the policies, those progressive policies that you supported as senator, into a Biden administration?
What I will do, and I promise you this, and this is what Joe wants me to do, this was part of our deal. I will always share with him my lived experience as it relates to any issue that we confront. And I promised Joe that I will give him that perspective and always be honest with him.
And is that a...
What the fuck? She was asking about your liberal motherfucking agenda. That's not true?
Socialist or progressive perspective?
No.
Do you hear that? You hear how she just fucking lied?
No, it is the perspective of a woman who grew up a black child in America who was also...
And when did this bitch become black again? She got a daddy who's like from fucking Jamaica or the Bahamas or some shit, some old light-skinned nigga, and her mama's a straight up Indian. Like, straight up, was a straight up Indian. Well, she passed away now, but she's a straight up Indian, like dot on the forehead, I'm an Indian. How the fuck is she now black? Somebody please help me with this. I don't understand the shit. Now she's black again. Man, get the fuck out of here. You can hear her on she was on the Food Network, the Indian lady or the Middle Eastern, I don't know, I'm gonna say Indian. The Indian lady who was cooking on the motherfucker Food Network, she came on her show and that's all they talked about was being Indian and being a female. Doing the whole show. Now she black? Man, get the fuck out of my face on the internet.
A prosecutor who also has a mother who arrived here at the age of 19 from India.
Exactly. So where is your blackness? Where is your blackness at? Where is the black part of this? She's not biracial. If you look at her daddy, that's a Jamaican motherfucker. I ain't talking no Dexter St. Jock Jamaican. I'm talking light, bright, almost white Jamaican motherfucker. And he had money. He was a rich Jamaican. He was like a Jamaican professor or some shit like that.
Who also, you know, likes...
Exactly, Bigfoot. What black folks cook curry goat? The fuck out my face.
Hip-hop? Like, what do you want to know?
I want to give you an opportunity to address this because at the Republican National Convention, President Trump made the case that Joe Biden is going to be nothing more than a Trojan horse for socialist policies, for the left wing of the Democratic Party. Are you going to push those policies when you're vice president of the United States?
I am not going to be confined to Donald Trump's definition of who I or anybody else is. And I think America has learned that that would be a mistake.
Did she answer the question? Do y'all hear how these motherfucking Democrats don't answer no questions? If you ask that motherfucker straight up, are you going to do this? I will not be put into a box by Donald Trump. What the fuck, bitch? Is it yes or no? Now, when Donald Trump brought up Hillary Clinton, let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. That's the old administration. That was who you ran against the first time. Oh, okay. So let's just answer the question now. That's all they do. And my point to this, the reason why I'm bringing this shit up, because I see it, but I want to know how come you motherfuckers that's voting for these people don't see this shit? They don't answer questions. They don't have an agenda. All they tell you is not Trump. All they tell you is we're doing everything to do this so we can get Trump out of here. They ain't telling you what they gonna do for you. They ain't gonna tell you how they gonna do it. All they can tell you is not Trump, guys, 2020. That's their entire campaign. Everything that they say is, hey, so we want to ask you about your liberal agenda. It seems to be, that you're the most liberal senator that's out. What do you say to that when people say that you're here to push your liberal agenda? I'm not going to let Donald Trump tell me what I'm going to do because I'm here to do what it is that I've talked to Joe about. That's our deal, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, bitch, but what is that?
Button that up, because you have fought for Medicare for all. That's not something that Joe Biden supports. If you become vice president, would you say to a President Biden, you know what, we should really be pushing for Medicare for all, not a public option. That's just not going to do it. That's not my value.
I would not have joined the ticket if I didn't support what Joe was proposing. And so
now essentially she's saying she's not with this healthcare shit. Free healthcare for all. That's what she's saying, right? Let's see.
our plan includes expanding on everything that Joe, together with President Obama, created with the Affordable Care Act. By contrast, you have Donald Trump, who's in court right now.
Right back to Trump, didn't she? Do you see how they are literally bullshitting everybody? And nobody's calling this shit out. And when I was watching this shit, I'm just like, are you fucking serious? Is this bitch gonna answer one question? Or better yet, is this interviewer going to make her answer a question straight up?
Trying to get rid of a policy that brought health care to over 20 million people, including protecting people with pre-existing conditions, and he's doing it in the middle of a pandemic that has killed over 215,000 Americans.
What do you think is the biggest domestic issue America faces?
Right now, the biggest domestic issue is our health. Right now, COVID. COVID, the way he's handling COVID is just absolutely, totally irresponsible. He's telling people.
Okay, Justin Jimenez, fuck Trump. But what's your point with what we actually talking about? You just saying fuck Trump. Fuck Biden. Go ahead, let that motherfucker breathe. Unless he just fuck. If he spamming, then fuck that. You can't spam my fucking chat. If you gonna try to spam my chat, you can get the fuck out. But if a motherfucker actually saying some shit, that's fine. But you're not just gonna sit here and fucking spam my chat. Fuck that. Y'all can go on with that shit.
That we've turned the bend at one of his recent rallies. Well, he's gone, as my grandpa would say, he's gone round the bend. I mean, we are in real trouble.
President Obama created with the Affordable Care Act. By contrast, you have Donald Trump, who's in court right now, trying to get rid of a policy that brought health care to over 20 million people, including protecting people with pre-existing conditions.
20 million people. Last time I checked, there's 325 million people here. So what about the other 300 million people and their health care? Who pays for that? And what are the rules and regulations that you have to go by with the government deciding on what you get and how you get it? I'm all for the option or the ability to have universal health care to some degree. But if it's left up to the government to decide on how that shit happens, I do have a problem with that. Because this government historically has not done what's best for its people when it comes to shit like this, or when it comes to just look at what the fuck has happened to the veterans. These are motherfuckers that have died for this country. And look at how they fucking just, look at the veterans that are fucking homeless. Look at the veterans who are walking around without fucking certain, the ability to have some type of fucking life, to be able to live or some type of life. All of the fuck shit that they have to go through to get any type of assistance. That's the federal government, man. And you telling me you gonna put these same motherfuckers, if they can't take care of their own soldiers, what makes you think they gonna take care of the whole entire fucking country? Let's just really think about that. How long is it gonna take for them to get that shit together? And in the meantime, since everybody's so concerned about the people dying, how many people are gonna die while they trying to figure this shit out? I'll wait.
And he's doing it in the middle of a pandemic that has killed over 215,000 Americans.
What do you think is the biggest domestic issue America faces?
Right now, the biggest domestic issue is our health. Right now, COVID. COVID, the way he's handling COVID is just absolutely, totally irresponsible. He's telling people that we've turned the bend at one of his recent rallies. Well, he's gone, as my grandpa would say, he's gone round the bend. I mean, we are in real trouble.
Mr. Biden says he would spend up to $200 billion to make sure schools have the equipment and staff they need
Now, here's the thing. What he's talking about is just buying equipment. He ain't talking about shit as far as this is what we'll do and this will cure it. You just saying you're going to buy a bunch of more motherfucking face masks, buy a bunch of more fucking thermometers, buy a bunch of fucking more COVID tests? What the fuck is that going to do?
Safely. He also says he'd make greater use of the Defense Production Act to manufacture and distribute millions of testing kits for COVID-19.
Why the fuck are we so concerned about testing people to see if they got some shit that they can't fucking cure? That makes no sense. Well, out of the 325 million people, 320 million people actually got COVID right now. Okay, so now what? Well, we could test the other 5 million to get... Motherfucker, testing people to see if they got this shit or not, it does you no good. I could give a rat's ass if 5 people got it or 500 billion people got it. What the fuck does that have to do with me having a cure for it? It's not like you're testing me to give me a fucking shot. It's not like you're testing me so that you can give me the fucking vaccine for it. You can't. So what the fuck else can I do besides come up with a vaccine? It makes no sense.
We should be investing a great deal more money in testing and tracing.
You see that? Testing and tracing. What does that do for you? It does nothing. Testing and tracing does not stop the fucking virus. It doesn't stop the spread of the virus. Just because I quarantine don't mean you ain't gonna get it somewhere else. Yeah, I can stay in the house for 2 fucking weeks, but what about when you take your punk ass to the fucking Walmart?
A woman can go in to a drugstore and buy a pregnancy test and find out at home whether or not she's pregnant. We should be doing the same kind of investment to see whether we're going to have testing kits for people to know. It's not enough to know in 7 days or 5 days or 3 days whether or not you have COVID.
But Congress did approve that money for the NIH.
No, that's my point, but it's not there. But they haven't done it. They haven't done it.
People are worried about a national lockdown and worried about jobs. The president's advisor now is Dr. Scott Atlas. And he is advocating young people go about their business and older people sequester.
Nobody thinks he makes any sense. Nobody. No serious doc around the world.
But how do you not lock down the economy?
And you don't have to lock down the economy. It depends on the community. It depends on where it's in real trouble.
So if that's the case, that would mean that responsibility, like I said, I'm not the smartest man. If what Joe Biden just said is true, that would mean that would be on the responsibility of the governors and of the mayors, because they are the ones that are in control of the states, and they are the ones that are in control of the cities, which would be the ones that are the differentiators between the communities. I'm going to let that sit there for a minute. If what he's saying is true, if every community is different, then that means my president should not be deciding that. My federal government should not be deciding how we handle COVID. That would mean that my governors and my mayors and my other local county officials, they should be the ones deciding how we proceed with COVID, which would then, hold tight, put the responsibility of the response on them, not the president. Joe Biden being the president ain't got shit to do with the mayor in Chicago. You saw that with Trump trying to help Chicago with the gang violence and the gun violence. What that bitch say in Chicago? Keep Chicago name out your mouth, nigga. Don't come to my city. We ain't asked you to be here. We don't want you here. So that would be the same thing if what old Joe is saying every community is different, then that would definitely take that responsibility out of the federal government's hand. The federal government is for the entire country. What they put down is for everybody to follow. If every community is different, it should be decided by the government, by the governors, mayors, and county officials. That's who should be deciding that in every state.
And you have to do things that make sense, that make it easier for people to avoid being exposed. Freedom is about making sure that you care about the people you're around, that they be free too. It's a patriotism to put this mask on.
No, the fuck it's not. It's not. I'm not being a patriot by putting a mask on. I'm being a patriot by having the choice to wear it or not. I'm being a patriot by being able to stay home or not. I'm being a patriot by having the right to say, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do this.
Let's talk about the economy.
Yes.
You are proposing several $1 trillion in new spending over the next decade for economic relief, education, healthcare. How are you going to pay for that?
By writing the tax code. You got billionaires in this country making $700 billion during this crisis. $700 billion.
He wants to terminate the tax cuts that we gave you. So that
The former vice president has...
So here's the thing. David Burns says Trump is a total COVID-19 failure. Where is everybody else? So is Canada a success? China a success? How the fuck are you successful with a fucking virus no one has ever seen before? I'm just saying, David, I mean, just don't make a statement and then walk away. Make a statement and support it with some facts and show me what could have been done that would have made it a success. I'll wait.
Undo the Trump tax cuts for corporations and wealthy Americans. He'd raise the corporate tax rate from 21 to 28%. He'd also raise taxes on people making more than $400,000 a year, and the top rate would be 39.6%.
Nobody making less than $400,000 will pay a penny more in tax under my proposal.
That's a promise.
That's a guarantee, a promise. I give you my word as a Biden. That's an absolute guarantee.
And you think it's a good idea to
I
raise...
give you my word as a Biden. Like that really holds a lot of weight. Like you could take that shit to the bank. You okay?
raise taxes when the economy's in dire straits?
Depending who you're raising them on. Look, if you're raising somebody who's making $1 billion a year, it's not a problem if they pay 39.6%, which everybody should pay, raise another $90 billion.
The president says that's going to end.
So if I make $1 billion, let's just take that in just perspective here. If I make $1 billion, that means I have to give at minimum $390 million, more than 1/4 of that to the government. Fuck what I gotta pay as far as state taxes and all that shit. Just the federal government off top, I gotta pay $400 million to. Do you understand that? Just hear that. Let me tell y'all something. You win the lottery and you get $1 billion. Do you just want to shave off $390 million of that to the government? Why would I do that? Why would I be in favor of doing that? That's a lot of fucking money. If I got $10 and a nigga asks me for $3.90, I'm going to be like, man, what the fuck? I'm just saying.
Sending jobs overseas.
He's sending them overseas already. Take a look at what's happened. We have an arbitration.
That's not fucking true. He's lying. He's actually brought jobs back.
Trade deficit that's larger with China than when we were there.
Actually, that depends on how you calculate it. The overall trade deficit with China was slightly lower in 2019 than it was during the last 3 years of the Obama administration.
We have made.
Now, you see how she just called the fucking lie out? Do you notice that the other old bitch, Leslie, she couldn't do that because she had no factual data to show that that shit wasn't true. She was just saying it. That's not true. Let's not bicker. That's not true. Yes, you did go after her. That's not true. You said that. And there's no cutaway to show that he did what the fuck she accused him of. She just literally was talking shit. You see that? The shit this motherfucker done said on 2 occasions that I can tell you right off the bat that he said that was fucking wrong. That shit about that college shit and that shit he just said right now, they just showed, no, motherfucker, you lying. That shit ain't true. And the other 2 questions that he just didn't fucking answer. You're talking to Joe Biden. You're running against Joe Biden. I know you would like to run against some other ones, but you're running against Joe Biden. I run deeper, steeper than any other political person out here. The fuck out of here.
And Trump campaigns have been engaged in a running battle over who will be tougher on China. Let's turn to foreign policy. What do you think is the biggest foreign threat that America faces?
Our lack of standing in the world. Look what he does. He embraces every dictator in sight, and he pokes his finger in the eye of all of our friends.
Wait a minute, motherfucker. Who are our friends? Who you say are our friends? Or who we can actually show and say, oh yeah, these motherfuckers are friends of ours? Who you say are our friends is who? The motherfuckers who been paying you and your fucking son. Them your friends, not my friends. I ain't got no money from Russia. So them motherfuckers ain't my friends. Fuck what you talking about.
And so what's happening now is you have the situation in Korea where they have more lethal missiles and they have more capacity than they had before.
North Korea.
North Korea. You have a situation in the Gulf where you have Iran closer to having enough fissile material to get a nuclear weapon than they had before. You have our NATO allies backing away from us because they say we can't count on us.
Here's my thing with NATO, with North Korea, and with the other motherfuckers he said in the Gulf or whatever. Ain't not nan one of them motherfucking countries gonna pull it with us. So I don't give a fuck. Cause we got more soldiers, we got more boats, more planes, more motherfucking nukes, more guns than all them motherfuckers put together. They ain't gonna pull it. Plain and simple. A motherfucker ain't pulled it with us since motherfucking 1942. That 9/11 shit, that was some bullshit that him and his family fucked up. And Osama's like, nah, y'all ain't just gonna fuck me over. Let's kick it off. And that shit was a conspiracy. But I'm telling you right now, I could give 2 shits about any of these foreign countries. You know why? Because we the biggest motherfucking boys on the block. We got all the motherfucking guns and ain't nobody gonna pull it with us. So you can't scare me with that. I don't give a fuck about being China's friend, Russia's friend, England's friend. Fuck that. Y'all want to get it started? Let's get it started. But don't nobody want this smoke that we got over here. That's why ain't nobody fucking with us. I'm not caring about pissing off some motherfucking countries. Fuck that. If y'all ain't doing what the fuck we need y'all to do for us, fuck y'all. At the end of the day, we the motherfuckers that ain't nobody gonna fuck with because we keep our shit motherfucking airtight. We make sure we got more guns, tanks, motherfucking boats, aircraft carriers, F-14s, F-16s, F-19s, stealth bombers, blue bombers, brown bombers, whatever the fuck it takes. So no, I'm not worried about rubbing a motherfucker the wrong way or pissing a motherfucker off. You want some? Come get some. We owe China trillions of dollars. You know why China ain't gonna come to collect? Because we got them things over here. They don't want this smoke.
So he's moving away from what has allowed us to bring the world together.
Which country is the biggest threat to America?
Well, I think the biggest threat to America right now in terms of breaking up our security and our alliances is Russia. Secondly, I think that the biggest competitor is China. And depending on how we handle that will determine.
Russia. When your son went and got $3 million? Okay.
Whether we're competitors or we end up being in a more serious competition relating to force.
Domestically, Democrats have lost the competition to control the U.S. Supreme Court.
China do get all of that Shrab G, but you know what China don't have? And that's a great observation. China do have all that. They got guns and they got all that shit, but you know what China don't have? China don't have citizens with guns. All they got is armies. You see, at the end of the day, if we launched every motherfucking military force we got and put them on some boats and went over to China, you know what'll happen? If we beat that army, everybody else got to shut the fuck up and lay down because they don't have guns. We do. You let China march their ass over here and see what the fuck happened if they was to, I'm telling you right now, China could march their ass over here and hit these shores, and it's gonna be motherfucking soldiers and citizens on the motherfucking beaches shooting the shit out their ass. That's the difference. See, all these other countries, they got motherfucking guns, but they only got armies. Over here, we got citizens that are armed like soldiers. That is a huge difference, sir. You got 1 billion motherfuckers over there in China. I guarantee you China won't give 1 billion of them motherfuckers guns. You know why? China ain't gonna arm its citizens because China know we get these citizens guns, they probably gonna shoot us before they go shoot them. Or after they shoot them, they gonna shoot us. Our veterans alone are motherfucking straight up threat to just about any small country. Take all our veterans and send it over to Venezuela. See what the fuck happened. Just the veterans. Just the motherfuckers that done retired and just got out. Did they 4 or did they 40 and got out? Round their ass up and send their ass over to Haiti. Send their ass over to some small ass country. They will fuck them up. You could send some of our motherfucking veterans that got motherfucking that have lost limbs. And they are more formidable than 5 or 6 of these motherfucking soldiers. The training alone that we have as soldiers, it's motherfucking beating every the ability of one of our soldiers is probably the equivalent of 8 to 10 of these motherfuckers over in the Middle East. Them niggas ain't ready. Right. You get me a motherfucker from SEAL Team 6 that lost a motherfucking lost a leg from the knee down and get him one of them tinks. Give him one of them little you know, the little joint that go like that as a leg. And that motherfucker go over there and fuck some shit up. And I ain't gonna thank you, Delmar. I ain't gonna even talk about our technology. Ain't gonna even go there. I'm just talking soldier to soldier. You talk about the motherfuckers that we got here that ain't even in the military that are trained, that can shoot, and got their own guns, making their own bullets. Who else doing that? Matter of fact, I'm about to get into that shit my damn self. I'm about to learn how to make bullets. I need to learn how to make ammo. Fuck that shit. I need to get the tools. I need to somebody know how to make that shit. Give me some motherfucking you caught it, man, to hit that Cat Williams on them. Motherfucker, give me the shit that hit me some links up on how to make this shit so I can do this shit myself. Right. This motherfucker Jay Lou said my family do reloads. We reload bullets just to relax. Let's take some time off and wind down. Let's make 1,000 rounds today, guys. Yeah, we ain't got shit else to do. I'm telling you, ain't no other place like this on the fucking globe. That's why we do what the fuck we want to do, say what we want to say, live how we want to live, and play how we want to play. We are the Addams family, goddammit. Believe that.
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
Mr. Biden is under pressure from his own party to consider increasing the number of justices if elected. It's called court packing, and while he's said he's no fan of the idea, he's never completely ruled it out. Judge Amy Coney Barrett is on track to become the 9th U.S. Supreme Court justice. That would give the conservatives a 6-3 majority. If elected, would you move to add more justices to the Supreme Court?
If elected, what I will do is I'll put together a national commission of, bipartisan commission of scholars, constitutional scholars, Democrats, Republicans, liberal, conservative, and I will ask them to, over 180 days, come back to me with recommendations as to how to reform the court system, because it's getting out of whack.
If that ain't a yes, I'm gonna pack the court, how else can you do it? If that ain't a straight up fucking, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what the fuck this team of people that you put together, if you the president, then that's what you want to do, that's what you're gonna do. You see how motherfuckers want, if y'all can't see how these motherfuckers are just straight up dishonest and disingenuous people as a fucking whole, I don't know what else to tell you, except for the fact you like the shit. You like being finesse. You like the overlay for the underlay. That's the only thing else I can tell you if you don't see this shit. She asked him a straight up yes or no, and he came with a long ass roundabout the way, yeah, I'm going to do it. Right, CJ, I'm just going to load up a bunch of bullshit and meaningless fucking words until I just get tired of talking, and then we'll just go to the next question, and you won't say shit.
The way in which it's being handled. And it's not about court packing. There's a number of other things that our constitutional scholars have debated, and I'd look to see what recommendations that commission might make.
And what does that have to do with if you're going to do it or not? If they tell you to do it, are you going to do it? If they tell you not to do it, are you not going to do it? Why not just say that? Why not just sit there and just tell the fucking truth for once, Joe Biden, in your 47 fucking years of lies and bullshit? Why not just say that's what I'm gonna do? Why aren't the Democrats even asking the people who are supporting him? Why aren't y'all asking, what you gonna do, man? Here's my thing. If it was my side, my team, and I'm the president, and I feel like, man, these motherfuckers would be a problem, I might need to pack the court. I'd be like, hey, I'm probably going to consider that. Just saying. And the thing is this. It's like you're talking about doing this. How you going to confirm all these motherfuckers that you going to try to now appoint? You going to have to get these motherfuckers confirmed, which is why it's very important that when y'all motherfuckers vote for the president, that you vote for these motherfucking senators. Because they gotta have the Senate in order to do it. Just saying.
It's a live ball.
Oh, it is a live ball. No, it is a live ball. We're going to have to do that. And you're going to find there's a lot of conservative constitutional scholars who are saying it as well. The last thing we need to do is turn the Supreme Court into just a political football. Whoever has the most votes gets whatever they want. Presidents come and go. Supreme Court justices stay for generations. I have not taken a penny from any foreign source ever in my life.
In the closing days of the campaign, Joe Biden has been forced to address new and unverified claims that he was involved in his son Hunter's foreign business dealings. The president's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, says he came into possession of emails allegedly belonging to Hunter Biden and turned them over to the tabloid New York Post.
Smoking gun emails.
Mr. Trump and his allies have called for an investigation, but the FBI would neither confirm nor deny to 60 Minutes that one was taking place. Do you believe the recent leak of material allegedly from Hunter's computer is part of a Russian disinformation campaign?
From what I've read and know, the intelligence community warned the president that Giuliani was being fed disinformation from the Russians. And we also know that Putin is trying very hard to spread disinformation about Joe Biden. And so when you put the combination of Russia, Giuliani, the president together, it's just what it is. It's a smear campaign because he has nothing he wants to talk about. What is he running on? What is...
if they were trying to smear Joe Biden, the Russians, and these other groups, Giuliani, if they wanted to smear Joe Biden, wouldn't they fabricate information, documentation, emails? Wouldn't they fabricate things to implement Joe Biden? Or implicate, I say implement, to implicate Joe Biden as opposed to his son. If I'm gonna make up some shit about this dude, if I'm gonna create a fucking weave of fucking lies about this particular dude, why would I do it using his son? Why would I do it using his son? It makes no sense for me to make up this whole story and to conjure up all this bullshit and put his son smack dab in the middle of it. We're not voting for his son. His son is not running for office. The point is, and here's why they're talking about what the fuck his son has done, is because he has benefited from some of the shit his son has been doing with other countries. That's what this shit is about. It's not about saying, oh, well, you know, we're going to make this shit up about Joe and say Joe did this or Joe did that. No, it's easier for me to directly implicate you than to implicate you through some other proxy. Way easier. And here's the other part to this, and this is such a key point. He ain't once not denied this shit. Hunter Biden ain't said this shit ain't real. Hunter Biden ain't said this shit ain't true, and neither has his father. They just say, well, the Russians are trying to besmirch my name. They're trying to smear this, you know, my name and who I'm running and my platform. They're trying to do all of this stuff, and they've told Trump this, that the authorities have told Trump that this was going to happen, and they tried to do this. Okay, motherfucker, if that shit ain't true, if somebody came and told me, or if somebody said to me, hey, look, Brian, you running for president and all that shit, and we just want to let you know, we found a laptop that your son has a bunch of emails on it, and it has a bunch of kiddie porn on it that your son has done. You know what I would say? Man, that shit's not true, man. That's a fucking lie. Prove it. Prove that it's my son on here. Prove that it's my son on tape. Prove that these emails came from my son. Prove that the text messages came from my son, because I'm telling you right now that shit didn't happen and it's not true. Would that not be my position? Especially if I'm trying to vindicate my name and my son's. The other part to that would be, if my son did do this shit and he just totally fucked up because he's on drugs, he got a drug problem and all that shit, and he out there real bad, if I ain't got shit to do with it, I would say, hey man, unfortunately my son did some nefarious things. He did some criminal shit, and we're going to try to work through it. I got my son a lawyer, and we're going to try to have our day in court and see how things turn out. But if I'm connected with it, I ain't going to admit shit. I'm going to tell you, you know, it's these people, they trying to get us, they talking about us, they want to hurt us real bad, and it's Trump. That's who did it. Well, what is Trump talking about anyway? What is he on? What is he doing? Where is he going? Let's look at Trump, y'all. Stop looking at me and my shit and my son fucked up shit. Let's talk about Trump. That's what I'm going to say. I'm just telling you. I'm going to deflect that shit altogether.
We'll ask Joe Biden about his age and mental sharpness and ask Senator Harris what her role would be in a Biden White House when we come back. On the campaign trail, President Donald Trump paints former Vice President Joe Biden as an aging career politician and questions his mental acuity. This past Monday in our conversation, Mr. Biden frankly discussed his age, his health, and why he believes Kamala Harris stands ready to become president if necessary.
The story will continue in a moment.
If elected, you would be the oldest president in American history.
But I'm in good shape.
78
good
years
shape.
old, 82 after 4 years. Donald Trump says you have dementia and it's getting worse.
Hey, the same guy who thought that the 9/11 attack was a 7/11 attack, he's talking about dementia? All I can say to the American people is watch me. You see what I've done. You see what I'm going to do. Look at me. Compare.
Watch me. I've watched you fumble and bumble and actually be so fucking disconnected from what it is you're trying to say or what you're talking about that you've even got lost in your own words. I've seen you for 47 years not do a fucking thing for anybody but yourself and your family. The only people who benefited from you being in office, Joe Biden, is your own family. That's it. Your brothers, your sons, that's the only thing that I've seen. I don't know anything about Trump saying 9/11 and 7/11. Please, if somebody can show me that, I'm fine with that. Let's see it. But when you're talking about somebody being all together there, you can't tell me that I've seen you and would say that you with it. I'm just saying.
Our physical and mental acuity, I'm happy.
If elected, you would be the oldest
Listen to this shit
president
one more
in
time.
American history.
But I'm in good shape.
78 years old, 82 after 4 years. Donald Trump says you have dementia and it's getting worse.
Hey, the same guy who thought that the 9/11 attack was a 7/11 attack, he's talking about dementia? All I can say to the American people is watch me. You see what I've done. You see what I'm going to do. Look at me. Compare our physical and mental acuity. I'm happy to have that comparison.
Your age makes the choice of your vice president all the more important. Why do you think Senator Harris would be ready to step in and become commander-in-chief if something were to happen to you?
Number one, her values. Number two, she is smart as a devil. Number three, she has a backbone like a ramrod. Number four, she is.
That nigga said that bitch is smart like a devil. Now that might be some old 1940s or 1950s talk or some shit, but what the fuck? Who wants somebody who aspires or strives to be smart as a devil? What the fuck is a ramrod? Do you hear that shit?
Principle to number five. I'm happy to have that comparison.
Your age.
I'm happy to have that comparison.
Matter of fact,
Your age makes the choice of your vice president all the more important. Why do you think Senator Harris would be ready to step in and become commander-in-chief if something were to happen to you?
Number one, her values. Number two, she is smart as a devil. Number three, she has a backbone like a ramrod.
a ramrod, a rod for ramming down the charge of a muzzle-loading firearm. That's a fucking musket. Back like a ramrod. Force the verb of a ramrod for ramrod. Force a proposed measure to be accepted or completed quickly. Really? Who the fuck? What the fuck kind of backbone of a ramrod is that? What does that mean? Or you can say ramrod is slang. Synonym, a gun stick. Ranch or trail foreman, usually the first or second person in charge. The person responsible for getting the work done. Okay.
Number four, she is really principled. And number five, she has had significant experience in the largest state in the union, running the Justice Department. It's only second in size to the United States Justice Department. And, obviously, I hope that never becomes a question.
Kamala Harris was the first woman and first black person to be District Attorney of San Francisco and Attorney General of California. And she's only the second black woman to serve in the United States Senate. Do you think having the first woman of color, the first woman as vice
Hold on, I gotta
president,
run
may change things?
to the bathroom real quick.
Ramrod, number 4, she
back
is
here a
really
little bit.
principled. And number 5, she is
Acuity. This past Monday in our conversation, Mr. Biden frankly discussed his age, his health, and why he believes Kamala Harris stands ready to become president if necessary.
The story will continue in a moment.
If elected, you would be the oldest president in American history.
but I'm in good shape.
78 years old, 82 after 4 years. Donald Trump says you have dementia and it's getting worse.
Hey, the same guy who thought that the 9/11 attack was a 7/11 attack, he's talking about dementia? All I can say to the American people is watch me. You see what I've done. You see what I'm going to do. Look at me. Compare our physical and mental acuity. I'm happy to have that comparison.
Your age makes the choice of your vice president all the more important. Why do you think Senator Harris would be ready to step in and become commander-in-chief if something were to happen to you?
Number one, her values. Number two, she is smart as a devil. Number three, she has a backbone like a ramrod. Number four, she is really principled. And number five, she has had significant experience in the largest state in the union, running the Justice Department. It's only second in size to the United States Justice Department. And, obviously, I hope that never becomes a question.
Kamala Harris was the first woman and first black person to be District Attorney of San Francisco and Attorney General of California. And she's only the second black woman to serve in the United States Senate.
Right.
Do you think having the first woman of color, the first woman as vice president, may change things?
I do. It helps change the perception of who can do what. Because that is still part of the battle after all.
And here's my thing. If it's about who can do what, if it's about who gonna do what and who can do what, why does it have to be a thing to where you have to put this person in there? You had to pick this person, a woman and a woman of color, in order to even run. Why do you need to do that? If a person is qualified, if a person has a platform, if a person is running as an official, just straight up, hey, I'm the best candidate. Why does it have to be where we got to put something together and kind of prop you up into it? Because what that makes me believe is that you're not really qualified. You're just putting it in there and getting the opportunity because of your gender. If you're really the best person, if you're really the best candidate, I mean, you look at somebody like Trump who just fucking ran for president because he had the means to do it. Then why not do the same thing yourself? There are plenty of women of color that are well, not plenty, but there's still a handful of female billionaires or females who would have enough money to actually run. There are females who would actually be able to actually have a platform where they could actually be the president, vice president. The same way you got to become senator. Oh, well, you got that by fucking. I'm sorry. Or the same way you get to become a judge, or the same way that you get to become, a congressman or something like that. Why not just get there on your own merit? Why does it have to be a thing to where you're being that just because you're this? I'm being asked to be vice president because I'm a woman of color. Not because of my politics, not because of my platform, not because of my beliefs, not because I'm strong I have the backbone of a ramrod and I'm smart as a devil. It's because I'm a woman of color. That's a handout. Just saying. And the fact that you're getting it, take it. You get in your spot, but don't be mad when people don't respect you for what it is you actually doing. Don't be mad when people don't take you fucking serious. Because that was the same shit that happened with fucking Sarah Palin. Same thing happened with her. You just propped her up because she looked like a MILF and she was a female, and you thought that you would get white suburban women to actually vote for her. And the fact that she wasn't educated, she wasn't qualified for the position, she wasn't very good in politics, and she did not speak very well, that fucking tanked your whole fucking campaign and you lost miserably. Turn that around and go the other way. Same thing with Hillary Clinton. You thought that Hillary Clinton was going to be this wonderful person. She was going to get the nomination and she should have been the president. She should have won. And then not only did you try to get her in there with Obama, she lost to him. Turned back around, and then you had her running against Trump. And America chose Trump over her. Because they didn't just want to make the leader of the free world a fucking woman just because it's a fucking woman. Who the fuck was even running with fucking Hillary Clinton? It was Clinton who? I can't even think of the vice president that was running with her. But I'm just telling you, it's like you already have a track record of sleeping around. You already have a Tim Kaine. I don't even remember that motherfucker. You already have a track record of sleeping around with a married man. You already have a track record of just telling fucking lies and just being wishy-washy and a flip-flop on anything. 1 minute Joe Biden is a fucking Joe Biden is committed sexual assault and you believe and stand with those women. 1 second Joe Biden's a fucking racist. The next second you're his fucking running mate. How does that show that you are like a true person that will stand on your word and will stand on who you are as a person? I can't trust that. I can't believe you when you don't even believe yourself. When you're not woman enough to stand on what you believe and say, nah, I know Joe wanted me to be his vice president, but because of the allegations that I've heard with those women, I believe them and I would not feel right supporting or running with a candidate like that. As much as I want to be vice president, I won't do it that way. In my opinion, that would have gave you a whole lot more merit and a whole lot more of straight up fucking fandom, if you will, if you would have done that. But what did you do? I'm going to be right there, Joe. Yeah. Yeah. Me and Joe, we're going to do it. Yeah. I'm going to give him my perspective and my experience as a woman of color, as a black woman. And that's what I promised him I would do. And that's what I'm going to do. Well, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Well, I'm not going to let Trump tell me what it is that I'm doing. Yeah, but what's your position on this? Well, it's not going to be what Donald Trump is. It's not whatever Donald Trump says it is. Come on, man.
Can you imagine some young person then saying, oh, things can be different. I don't have to conform to whatever I'm, supposed to do or relegated to do. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been,
What kind of role do you think you would play in a Biden administration?
Joe Biden's partner. One of the first things he's...
You see her shaking her head as she's saying that shit? Joe Biden's partner. No, you not, bitch. Yo lying ass. Did you see that? Clear as day. Joe Biden's partner. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not this motherfucker's partner. I'm here trying to get in where I fit in.
Said was, has been,
What kind of role do you think you would play in...
See how
Joe
she's
Biden's
shaking
partner.
her head?
What, supposed to do or relegated.
See how she's shaking her head when she's actually saying something that she at least half-ass believes? She's doing this. She's nodding. You ask her about Joe Biden, the bitch is like, Joe Biden's partner. Yes, I am. I'm here to support Joe, and I'm here to do what's best for Joe.
To do. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been,
Look,
You know?
What kind of role do you think you would play
I
in the
want you to
Biden
agree with me.
administration?
Joe Biden's partner. One of the first things he said was,
See that shit?
I want you to be the first person in the room and the last person in the room.
How often do you and Joe Biden speak?
What the fuck does that mean? I want you to be the first person in the room and the last person in the room. What does that really mean? That's my expectation. Hey, what's your expectation of me in this new job? I want you to be the first person in the room and the last person in the room. So I just shut the fuck up and beat everybody there and then shut the fuck up and wait till everybody leave? Okay. You want me to be the first one there to take every dick and be the last one to leave once every dick has been took? Fine. I've done it before. I can do it again, Joe. I'm the right woman for the job. Why would you even say some shit like that? That's it, and that just gives me more evidence of just saying y'all ain't really saying shit. Y'all just talking. Y'all are making shit up and just saying blanket statements. There's no, hey, I'm going to be here to take care of foreign affairs. Hey, I'm going to be here to take care of this. I'm going to be here to be a person and rewrite this particular thing. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be the person that's going to take care of the healthcare plan. I'm going to be the person that's going to take care of criminal justice reform. I'm going to be the person that's here. It's like every fucking vice president has something specific that they're here to do and take care of.
Almost every day.
Your next Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
From the moment Joe Biden selected her as his running mate, Senator Harris has become one of President Trump's favorite targets.
And she's not competent. She's not competent.
On the campaign trail, President Trump has attacked you frequently. He's called you a monster. He said you're nasty and it would be an insult to our country if you became the first female president. Do you see this as just the rough and tumble of politics, or do you view those attacks against you as racist?
Well, this is not the first time in my life I've been called names. And it was predictable, sadly.
Do you think the president is racist?
Yes, I do.
And Joe Biden ain't, man. Get the fuck out of here. That's why when I did that video about that, just talking about is Joe Biden racist and all that type of shit, if you look at that video, you will clearly see that you can't call one racist and not the other. And I'm not here to say, hey, you shouldn't say that. You should, whatever you gonna say it, but have some evidence to back it up. You're gonna go and say, I believe this dude is racist, as you running with Joe Biden, a motherfucker who you can prove as being a straight up, without a doubt, racist, and at the very least, heavily associated with those that are racist. Heavily associated, running with, mentored by, hanging out with, doing the eulogy of motherfuckers that you know that are straight up and down racist motherfuckers. Okay. Straight Klansmen. Look up Strom Thurmond if you ain't got shit else to do.
Yeah, I do. You can look at a
Yeah,
pattern
and
that
she
goes
did.
back
You
to
right.
him.
She said that Joe Biden was a racist. So why would you be running with a racist? All right.
Questioning the identity of the first black president of the United States. You can look at...
And that was some fuck shit that they did. All of those motherfucking Republicans, I ain't gonna let y'all forget that shit. All you motherfucking Republicans was talking all that shit, including Donald Trump, was saying Barack Obama was not a U.S. citizen. They were saying we need to see Barack Obama's birth certificate. They were saying that Barack Obama is a Muslim and Barack Obama is a terrorist. Motherfuckers was saying that shit as they was burning dolls and burning motherfucking dolls that looked like Barack Obama hanging from trees and shit like that. That was some real fuck shit. And it was because motherfuckers was mad that he fucking won. Straight up and down. Say what the fuck you want. Call it how you want to call it. But them is the facts. And that just goes back to the statement that whatchamacallit made earlier, calling Trump, Jihad made earlier, calling Trump childish. They all childish. They all act like a bunch of fucking high school kids. Like the motherfuckers from, what's the name of that book? The Outsiders. The Grecians and the Socials. Same fucking game. One don't like the other one just because of what the other one comes from, and it's a big fucking divide, and everybody's trying to fuck over each other so they can motherfucking get in power. That's all this shit is.
Charlotte.
And we the people are the motherfuckers that are hanging in the balance and suffering from their bullshit ass fucking feuds. Or should I say their childish behavior.
When there were peaceful protesters and on the other side neo-Nazis, and he talks about fine people on either side, calling Mexicans rapists and criminals. His first order of business was to institute a Muslim ban. It all speaks for it.
Because the Muslims that were going over to other countries, like in Switzerland, like in England, they were committing fucking violent crimes. So he said, oh, fuck this. Motherfuckers ain't coming over here. No, sir. Like the Hispanic motherfuckers, the MS-13 motherfuckers that's coming over here, killing motherfuckers, and ain't even fucking citizens. Yeah, I would call those motherfuckers murderers and rapists and shit like that. All of the violent crimes that these motherfuckers are coming over committing, not just on American citizens, but they're even doing it more to illegal aliens. So yeah, the Mexicans that come over the border illegally, they are committing crimes against those other Mexicans that are here illegally, and those Mexicans aren't even reporting those crimes because they don't want to be deported by reporting the crimes. How that shit work? And y'all say we don't need a fucking wall? A wall may not stop everybody from getting over here, but it'll damn sure help deter some of the motherfuckers from getting over here. I tell you that.
President Trump has said he denounces racism and white supremacy after the Black Lives Matter protests that began this summer.
Joe Biden has surrendered his party to the flag burners, rioters.
The president tried to frame the election as a choice between law and order and Biden and Harris. There's a sense that there's a divide out there, that in order to address systemic racism, that it's anti-police, that you would not be a law and order president.
Well, let me put it this way. Number one, I've never, ever supported defunding police. Matter of fact, I think we should give more funding to police for different reasons. Number two, any use of violence, burning down stores, smashing windows, that is a crime. People should be arrested. No justification for it. There's never been a conflict with me between law and order and dignity. They're one and the same.
The president said on the stump, I've saved the suburbs. You should thank me.
He wouldn't know a suburb unless he took a wrong turn. Go out in the suburbs now. It's not 1950. There are black and white families living next door to one another, driving each other's kids to soccer practice.
The same motherfucker who said in Congress, I don't want these motherfuckers going to school with my people. I don't want these motherfuckers living with me. I don't want these motherfuckers living in the same neighborhood because they're going to hit my grandmama upside the head. They're going to hit my children upside the head. I don't want these motherfuckers living nowhere with us. They're out, yes, in a racial jungle. I don't want no racial jungle where I live. I don't want these motherfuckers attacking and beating up my grandmama. Same motherfucker. But now he's talking about go to the suburbs. Motherfucker, you ain't been in no suburbs. You talking about you lived in Scranton and you from Cleveland and all that shit. Motherfucker, you living your rich ass up in your multi-million-dollar bunker somewhere, motherfucker. Don't give me that shit. I can't stand when these politicians who rich than a motherfucker try to make it seem like they from the hood, they be in the hood, and they done been in the hood. Motherfucker ain't been in the hood since they was in their fucking early 20s. And now they talking like they know what it is. Get the fuck out of here. Just like he ain't been in the hood, you ain't been in the hood, Joe. I don't want to hear that shit, COVID or not. Nobody catching your ass in no neighborhood, in no suburbs. Ain't nobody catching your ass in the suburbs out there living. You ain't living in the suburbs. You ain't out there with the people in the suburbs. You in Washington and you in your fucking bunker. That's how it's been for the past 47 years. God damn it, I ain't trying to do that.
This is a different world than he lives in. Look, there's a lot of reasons people are upset, a lot of good reasons. All he wants to do is take that sort of subliminal fear out there and say it's because of that guy or because of that woman. That's not who we are as a country. I mean, this is not who we are. It's not our value system. You know, we hold these truths to be self-evident. We've never met it. We've never met the standard, but we've...
Y'all hear that nigga quote King? Just saying.
Always gone further and further and further toward inclusion. This is the first president who's trying to shut it down. We cannot sustain this.
So he just said he's the first president who's trying to shut it down. How? By coming up with criminal reform that got a bunch of niggas out of jail? That's how he's trying to bring it back down? He's trying to go against what King had wanted? That's what he's trying to do? Okay. By sitting down and talking with Ice Cube to incorporate some of Ice Cube's contract with Black America ideas into his own platinum plan, he's trying to further divide and further trying to keep black folks down. Okay, where's the Biden plan for niggas at? I'm just saying.
It's democracy that way. We're so much better than this.
Moments from our interviews with the candidates.
The way he's handling COVID is just absolutely, totally irresponsible.
We've done a good job. We've done maybe a great job.
At 60minutesovertime.com.
And there you have it. I guess my thing is this, man. I wanted to make sure that everybody had the opportunity to just see this and see what it was actually about, what it was actually for, because we coming up on a big ass day. And all of this shit that's gonna go down behind it, I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't know if it's gonna be fucking civil unrest, if it's gonna be a bunch of party bullshit where motherfuckers trying to say they won, they didn't win. I don't know how this shit is gonna go. I really don't. I can just tell you this. You need to make sure that you cast your vote on Tuesday and give it everything you got and see how the shit unfolds. And I'm telling you right now, if you voting for Biden or you voting for Trump, at least be able to speak to why you are, and don't let it be because of what Trump is or what Trump ain't. If you're talking about Biden, let it be because of what Biden is or what Biden ain't. Don't just tell me I'm voting for Trump because Trump ain't Biden. Don't tell me that I'm voting for Biden because Biden ain't Trump. Actually know who you voting for and why, as opposed to voting for somebody because they ain't that person. Vote for this person because you want to give that person a chance because you believe in what they're saying and what they're saying they're going to do over this other person. And be able to speak to that. Do your research. Go and Google and fact check this shit as much as you possibly can and find out what's most important to you and what matters the most to you and say, this is why I voted for that person. This is why I voted for that person, because I know this other person's track record in 47 years. They ain't done shit for me or my people. And this person here in the past 3.5 years, almost 4 years, has done at least one or two things. So that's more than none. 2 is more than 0. 5 is more than 0. When I got the motherfucker who over here who wrote the bill to lock a bunch of us niggas up, and I got the other motherfucker over here who's saying what y'all niggas got to lose and actually did 1 or 2 things for some niggas, I'm not concerned about what he did back in the 80s about the Central Park 5. I'm looking at what the fuck he doing right now today. And right now today, that nigga has put some more money into my pocket and he done let some niggas out of jail. I ain't mad at that. When you look at the shit Kamala Harris done did, What the fuck did Kamala Harris do? Smoked a bunch of weed, locked up a bunch of niggas for smoking weed, gave them max sentences, and was fucking a married man. That's it. Don't nobody else know shit about her motherfucking ass. She ain't got no piece of legislation. She ain't got no fucking crime bill that she didn't do. She ain't been nothing but tough on niggas. And I'm sorry, but I'm not with that shit. I'm all about being fair on crime. I'm all about doing what's best for the people and doing what's going to keep people safe. I'm all for that shit. But I'm not going to put in a motherfucker I can clearly see what their track record is and put them into some shit to where they have even more power. I'm not doing that. I ain't going to have no part of that. You got a motherfucker who don't even know where the fuck he at half the time talking about you going to let him run the country. Then you got a motherfucking vice president that ain't been on nothing but bullshit and a flip-flop on your ass in a second. She'll call you a racist one second and it'll be your fucking running mate talking about she's here to support you the next. I can't trust a bitch like that. And I'm not voting for no motherfucker like that. I can't even, you ain't even woman enough to stand on your own word. I'm going to call you a racist and I'm going to call you a motherfucking rapist, goddammit, and then I'm going to be your running mate. Y'all tell me how that worked and I'll agree with you. I'm telling you, you need to look at what the fuck is going on. Biden needs to be at home taking care of helping his fucking son as opposed to trying to run the country and trying to fatten his motherfucking pockets and enrich himself any more than what he already is. You've gotten enough off of the government tit and off of your fucking hookups and quid pro quos. You've gotten enough, dude. But what does a greedy motherfucker do? Gotta get more. Do your research, people. Make sure you vote. And I just wanted to clearly point out to show you all what the media does when they have their bullshit ass narrative as their agenda. I want this. I want to get this guy in because this guy gonna let me do a bunch of shit on the back end. So he's our guy. Let's do whatever we can. Let's do whatever we need to do to keep this guy looking good. We'll lie and say he on the poll, that he's leading the polls. We'll sit here and we'll make up a real nice some interview questions to give him. We ain't gonna hold him accountable for shit. When he dodge a question, better yet, we're gonna just let him dodge a question and we'll just cut away and go to something else. That's what we gonna do. I'm just telling you like this. When my children look back at this, when my grandchildren look back at this, I want them to see that I was on the other side of the ball as opposed to the side that everybody's just picking just because it's the side we've always picked. I want my grandchildren, I want my children, my great-grandchildren, my great-great-grandchildren to do one thing and one thing, if nothing else. Think for yourself. Trust, then verify. Do your research. And then do the right thing. Do what serves your interest. And try to be as righteous as you possibly can. But make sure you take care of you and yours. I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I hope that somebody watches this and I hope it changes their mind about what they're going to do and who they're going to vote for and why. I hope that this provokes people to start thinking for themselves and to start questioning the shit that they see that's clearly questionable. I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab. I ask that you guys click that like button, click that subscribe button, and click that donate button. Send this to somebody who could possibly benefit from it. And just try your best to try to spread the message of us doing what's best for us and what's best for the people. Everybody that's out here running for public office, they're not our savior and they're not the best person in the world. Look at what they're doing and look at what they're saying they're going to do and hold them accountable to it. Vote for your interests and vote for what's best for you, not just because your granddaddy and your grandmammy and your grandpappy voted for them. Not because you think they are racist. Because at the end of the day, everybody's racist in some shape, form, or fashion. There's some suspect shit in all of our lives. But when you got a motherfucking historically showing you time and time again for over 47 years that they don't give a fuck about you, Don't think that's going to change now. You be fooled too. That's all I'm saying. I appreciate everybody that donated tonight. Thank you guys so much. Click that like button, click that subscribe button, and hey, let's keep subscribing because I need to get to 10,000 subs before the year's out now. I got goals, goddammit, hopes and dreams and wishes. If you need to contact me, send me an email. If you want to have a conversation with me online on the show about something I've said, something I've done that you want to talk about, then you got some facts and shit to prove it, then go ahead and hit me up. Email me at therelationshiprehab@gmail.com. We can set it up. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to my man, Michelle Cobre. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you with the $5. Justin Lawton hit your boy off with $1. That's what's up. My man Bolo at Bolo TV 16. Y'all check him out, man. Hit me up with $5. Thank you so much, bro. My man Illa Dre hit your boy off with $5. He said, for speaking the truth. I'm trying, brother. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And my man Justin Lofty came back with another $1 and hit me up. That's $2 from him. Thank you so much. And also my man Corey Stiegel hit your boy off with $5. He says, watch it from the fire station. Thanks for your service, bro. I believe I saw that earlier, but I just wanted to make sure I shouted you out and said thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. And also, last but definitely not least, my man Jesse Huff hit your boy off with $30. The biggest donator of the night. Give you a salute on that one, bro. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate everybody that always take their time to donate, that always spend time to check out the show, clicking the like. To all my mods, thank you so much. Amanda, CJ Gunn, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. And also, let me give a shout out to my man who always hit your boy off, that be out there driving them trucks. My man Night Train. You be safe out there, bro. I'll try to do a show, if not tomorrow, then probably on election night, just to chop it up or something like that. I'm sure my man Tommy will be doing something too. So, man, I hope it's going to be a good night for us, man. Also, I want to give a shout out to my man Timothy Trent. Hit your boy off with $20. That's what's up. Thank you for your donation on the PayPal side of the game. And let me see. Hold on, because this ain't right. I don't know why this does this sometimes. It'll like show me one thing, but then when I try to actually go in and click on it, it'll show me, there we go. Now I can see them all. All right. Also want to give a shout out to Susan Boyer. She says, I don't even know how I found your show, but it's great. Keep it up. $20. That's what's up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that donation. Also to my man J. Lou, hit your boy off with $35. He get the salute. Biggest donation of the night. My man, thank you. Appreciate it. And also my man Timothy Trent hit your boy off with $20 as well. I appreciate that, man. That's what's up. Thank you guys so much for your donations. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world tonight, but y'all here with me, and I appreciate that. Now I got to get up in about 3 hours, so I'm gonna try to lay down for a minute so I can have some part of some type of rest, so I can go ahead and do what I need to do, take care of my family. Hey, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love doing this with y'all, man. This is such an honor to be here. It's such an honor to be able to do this show. I want to send a shout out to everybody in Solo Nation, and last but definitely not least, to my brother Tommy Sotomayor. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're living life the way you want to live it, brother. Till next time, guys, thank you all so much. Y'all have a good night. Peace. And I'm out.